Anxiety feels like an unwelcome guest that overstays its visit, cluttering your mind and stealing your peace. It's the weight pressing on your chest during quiet moments, the restless thoughts that invade your sleep, and the uneasy feeling that something is always just out of your control. Yet, what if there was a way to not only manage this relentless intruder, but to transform your relationship with it entirely? A way to replace constant worry with a steady, unshakable calm. This isn't about quick fixes or vague promises. It's about learning to navigate life with a mindset that empowers you, one that allows you to face challenges with clarity and respond to life's unpredictability with strength. This approach has been tested for centuries, shaped by some of the most resilient minds in history. It offers not just a theory, but practical, actionable tools you can carry with you every day. Anxiety is often rooted in fear of failure, rejection, uncertainty, or loss. It feeds on the stories we tell ourselves, the what-ifs that grow louder with each passing thought. But here's a truth that changes everything. Most of those fears live in places we can't control, and that's where so much of our suffering begins. Not from the events themselves, but from clinging to the idea that we must control every outcome. Let's pause for a moment and consider this. Control is an illusion. Life doesn't follow our scripts, and trying to force it into submission is exhausting. What if, instead of fighting against uncertainty, you learned to work with it? What if you could step back, assess the chaos, and focus only on what is truly within your power? This is where freedom begins, not in controlling the uncontrollable, but in mastering your response. You have more strength than you realize, but it's often buried beneath layers of doubt, fear, and habits that don't serve you. Uncovering that strength doesn't require grand gestures or dramatic changes. Instead, it's about small, consistent choices. The way you frame your thoughts, the actions you take, and the principles you choose to live by. These choices, though they may seem subtle at first, build the foundation for a life free from the grip of anxiety. The key lies in shifting your focus. Anxiety wants your attention. It thrives on your energy, feeding off your mental and emotional resources. But what happens when you stop giving it what it craves? What happens when you redirect that energy towards something purposeful, something that aligns with your values? You starve the anxiety. It weakens, and in its place, a new sense of calm and clarity begins to grow. This is not about perfection. It's not about erasing every trace of worry or fear. Those feelings are part of being human, and they will still show up from time to time. The difference is that they will no longer control you. You'll recognize them for what they are, temporary waves that pass, rather than permanent storms that define your life. The wisdom that guides this approach is timeless. It has been used by warriors, leaders, and ordinary people facing extraordinary challenges. It doesn't promise a life free from problems, but it does promise a way to meet those problems with dignity, courage, and peace. And isn't that what we're all searching for? Not a life without hardship, but a way to handle hardship without losing ourselves. Every step of this journey is designed to empower you. You'll learn to separate what matters from what doesn't, to quiet the endless loops of worry that play in your mind, and to approach each day with a sense of purpose rather than panic. You'll discover tools that are both profound and practical, ones you can use whether you're standing in the middle of a crisis or simply navigating the everyday stresses of life. It's not just about managing anxiety, it's about transforming it. Anxiety has a way of narrowing your focus, making the world feel small and threatening. But when you learn to step back and see the bigger picture, everything changes. You realize that most of the things that consume your energy don't deserve it. You begin to reclaim your time, your thoughts, and your life. Picture a morning where you wake up not dreading the day ahead, but stepping into it with confidence. Picture an evening where your mind isn't racing with worries about what you didn't do or what might go wrong tomorrow. These aren't just distant dreams. They are within reach. They are the result of learning to live with clarity, to act with purpose, and to trust in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. There is something powerful about taking control, not of life itself, but of how you respond to it. It's a quiet strength, one that doesn't rely on the approval of others or the guarantee of success. It's the kind of strength that allows you to face uncertainty without fear and to find peace even in the midst of chaos. This path doesn't require special skills or years of study. It doesn't matter where you're starting from or how overwhelming your anxiety feels right now. What matters is your willingness to take the first step, to commit to the idea that a calmer, more centered life is possible, because it is. You've carried the weight of anxiety for long enough. It's time to set it down, not by ignoring it, but by facing it with wisdom and strength. Each day is an opportunity to practice, to grow, and to reclaim the parts of yourself that anxiety has tried to take away. And with each small victory, you'll feel that weightlifting, replaced by a sense of lightness and freedom you may have forgotten was possible. So, where do we go from here? We go forward, step by step, lesson by lesson, toward a life that is not ruled by anxiety, but guided by clarity, purpose, and peace. This is your journey, and it begins now. Anxiety often feels like a tangled knot in the fabric of your life. It pulls at your thoughts, disrupts your peace, and keeps you second-guessing your every move. Yet, beneath its unsettling grip lies a profound opportunity for understanding. What if anxiety is not merely a curse, but a signal, a call to reassess, realign, and reframe the way you approach life? In exploring its roots through timeless wisdom, you can discover not only why it exists, but how to navigate it with clarity and calm. Anxiety isn't a modern invention. Long before the era of social media comparisons, constant notifications, and the pressure to succeed at breakneck speed, people struggled with the same relentless unease. The ancient Stoics understood this deeply. They recognized that anxiety stems not from the events of life themselves, but from the way we interpret and react to them. It is in this understanding that the first seeds of freedom are planted. Through the lens of Stoicism, anxiety becomes less of a shadow and more of a mirror, reflecting back the areas of life where we have given away our power. The Stoics believed that to live a life free from turmoil, one must understand the boundary between what is within one's control and what is not. This distinction, simple in theory but profound in practice, holds the key to a more peaceful existence. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies the concept of control. They taught that while we cannot dictate the circumstances of life, whether it's the outcome of a situation, the opinions of others, or even the weather, we always retain control over our inner world. This includes our thoughts, choices, and actions. Anxiety flourishes when we blur this line, expending energy on things we cannot change, while neglecting the power we have over our responses. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, emphasized that the mind is our most important possession. He taught that we cannot control external events, but we can control how we think about them. When faced with adversity, the Stoics would ask themselves, "Is this within my control?" If the answer was no, they would release their attachment to the outcome, redirecting their focus to what they could influence. This shift in perspective didn't just reduce anxiety, it transformed it. Anxiety often grows from the illusion that we can control everything. The Stoics dismantled this idea by teaching that life is unpredictable by nature. Events will unfold as they will, regardless of our wishes. Resisting this truth only amplifies suffering. Instead, they encouraged the practice of acceptance, not as a form of passive resignation, but as a powerful acknowledgement of reality. To accept what is beyond our control is to free ourselves from the constant tension of trying to change it. In accepting what we cannot change, we create space to focus on what truly matters. This clarity allows us to direct our energy toward meaningful action rather than fruitless worry. For example, you may not be able to control whether someone likes you, but you can control how you treat them. You cannot prevent every potential failure, but you can prepare diligently and learn from your mistakes. By shifting your attention to what is actionable, you weaken anxiety's grip and regain your sense of agency. The Stoics also recognized the role of fear in anxiety. Fear, they believed, is often tied to our attachment to outcomes. We fear losing what we value or failing to achieve what we desire. Yet, the Stoics taught that true security does not come from external circumstances, but from inner stability. They practiced a form of mental rehearsal called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. By contemplating potential challenges or losses, they prepared their minds to face them with courage and composure. This exercise wasn't meant to dwell on negativity, but to build resilience by removing the element of surprise from adversity. Anxiety thrives in uncertainty. The Stoics addressed this by encouraging the cultivation of inner strength. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote extensively about the importance of maintaining a calm mind amidst chaos. He reminded himself daily that the opinions of others, the unpredictability of life, and even death were outside his control. By focusing on his principles and values, he found steadiness in the face of uncertainty. Stoicism also teaches that anxiety often stems from a misalignment between our values and actions. When we act in ways that contradict our principles or chase goals that don't align with our true priorities, we create internal conflict. This dissonance manifests as anxiety, signaling that something is amiss. The solution lies in realigning with our core values and living authentically. When our actions reflect what we truly believe, the noise of anxiety begins to fade. Another cornerstone of Stoic philosophy is the idea that external events are neutral. They hold no inherent meaning or emotional charge. It is our interpretation of them that gives them power. A delayed flight, for instance, is neither good nor bad. It simply is. The anxiety we feel in such situations arises from our judgment, our insistence that things should be different. By reframing events as neutral, we reclaim the ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. The Stoics were masters of perspective. They believed that shifting how we view a situation can completely alter its impact on us. For instance, instead of seeing challenges as threats, they viewed them as opportunities to grow in wisdom and strength. Anxiety, then, becomes a teacher, a signal that invites us to examine our thoughts, challenge our assumptions, and adjust our approach. One of the most empowering aspects of Stoicism is its emphasis on choice. While we may not choose the circumstances we face, we always choose our response. This understanding is liberating. It means that even in the most difficult situations, we retain the power to act with integrity and purpose. Anxiety loses its power when we stop seeing ourselves as victims of circumstance and start recognizing our capacity to choose. Stoicism also addresses the importance of community and connection in overcoming anxiety. While much of the work is internal, the Stoics valued the support of others. Sharing our struggles and learning from those who have faced similar challenges can provide comfort and guidance. They believed in contributing to the greater good, reminding us that we are not alone in our experiences. The Stoics emphasized the fleeting nature of time. They understood that much of our anxiety stems from worrying about the future or regretting the past. By focusing on the present moment and fully engaging with it, we can reduce the mental clutter that fuels anxiety. The present is the only place where we have control, and it is in this moment that we can take meaningful action. In understanding anxiety through Stoic philosophy, we uncover a path that doesn't demand perfection but offers practical, transformative tools. Anxiety doesn't have to rule your life. By embracing the principles of control, acceptance, and perspective, you can reclaim your peace and live with greater clarity and purpose. This journey is not about eliminating every trace of worry, but about learning to navigate it with wisdom and strength. Each small step you take in this direction builds a foundation for a life that is not only less anxious, but deeply fulfilling. When anxiety clouds your thoughts, it often feels like the entire world is against you. Events, people, and circumstances spinning out of control. Yet, the truth is far simpler and far less overwhelming. Much of the suffering anxiety stems from fighting battles you were never meant to win. What if the key to peace lies not in taking on the world, but in drawing a clear line between what is yours to influence and what is not? This idea of focusing only on what you can control isn't new. It's rooted in the ancient wisdom of the Stoics, who recognized that clarity and calm emerge when you let go of the uncontrollable and direct your energy toward what truly matters. The distinction is powerful, and once mastered, it can transform the way you face challenges, make decisions, and reclaim your inner peace. At its core, the dichotomy of control divides life into two categories: what lies within your power and what does not. The first includes your thoughts, actions, choices, and attitudes, the internal world where your influence reigns supreme. The second encompasses everything external, the opinions of others, the outcomes of your efforts, and the twists and turns of fate. Anxiety thrives when you conflate these two, wasting precious energy trying to fix what cannot be changed while neglecting what is fully within your grasp. The first step in applying this principle is radical honesty. Pause and ask yourself, what am I truly in control of right now? This question can be humbling because it reveals how much of life unfolds beyond your influence. Yet, it is also liberating. You are not responsible for the weather, other people's decisions, or the natural course of events. What you are responsible for is how you respond to them. This understanding shifts the focus inward, where your true power resides. Consider how much stress arises from worrying about outcomes. You may pour effort into a project, but the final result depends on factors you can't entirely control. You can plan, prepare, and give your best, but the rest is beyond you. The Stoics taught that this is where peace begins, by committing fully to what you can do and releasing the weight of what comes next. Whether success or failure follows, your conscience remains clear because you acted with integrity and intention. This perspective applies to relationships as well. The opinions and actions of others are outside your control, no matter how much you may wish otherwise. Anxiety often stems from trying to manage how others perceive you or attempting to influence their choices. The Stoic approach is to treat others with respect and kindness, fulfilling your role to the best of your ability, while understanding that their reactions are not yours to dictate. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop tying your peace to something you cannot control. The dichotomy of control also reshapes how you view setbacks. When things go wrong, it's natural to feel frustration or disappointment. But if you've done all you could within your power, the rest is simply life unfolding as it will. This mindset allows you to face challenges with resilience, knowing that your worth is not determined by external outcomes, but by your efforts and principles. To fully embrace this principle, practice focusing your energy where it matters most. This involves recognizing when you're caught up in fruitless worry about the uncontrollable. Thoughts about what others might say, what could go wrong, or how events will unfold drain your mental resources without offering solutions. By consciously redirecting your attention to what you can influence, your preparation, your mindset, and your actions, you regain a sense of clarity and purpose. Living by the dichotomy of control requires cultivating patience and trust. Patience with the process of life and trust that the outcomes, whether favorable or not, are part of a larger picture. The Stoics often spoke of aligning with nature, accepting the flow of events as they come. This doesn't mean passivity, but an active engagement with life, free from the burden of needing to control every aspect of it. One of the most practical applications of this principle is in decision-making. When faced with choices, anxiety often arises from the fear of making the wrong decision. The Stoic approach simplifies this process by focusing on what is within your power, gathering information, weighing options, and choosing based on your values and principles. Once a decision is made, release attachment to the outcome, knowing that you've acted to the best of your ability. This approach not only reduces anxiety, but also builds confidence in your capacity to navigate uncertainty. Another area where the dichotomy of control brings clarity is in how you handle criticism. Criticism, whether fair or unfounded, is ultimately outside your control. What lies within your power is how you receive it. You can choose to view it as an opportunity for growth, ignore it if it's irrelevant, or respond with grace and humility. By detaching your sense of self-worth from the opinions of others, you create a buffer against the anxiety that often accompanies judgment. This principle also reshapes your relationship with time. Worry often pulls you into the future, fearing what might happen, or drags you into the past, regretting what has already occurred. Both are realms beyond your control. The present, however, is fully within your grasp. The Stoics taught that focusing on the now, what you can do, think, or say at this moment, is the most effective way to ground yourself and reduce the mental clutter that fuels anxiety. Living according to the dichotomy of control is not about detachment from life's challenges or resigning to fate. It's about engaging with life fully while letting go of the illusion that you can dictate every outcome. This balance allows you to remain calm in the face of uncertainty, resilient in the face of failure, and grounded in the face of success. By focusing only on what you can control, you free yourself from unnecessary worry and create space for clarity, action, and peace. When life feels overwhelming and anxiety takes hold, it often manifests physically before it fully invades the mind. A racing heart, shallow breaths, tense muscles, all signaling a body that's reacting to stress before your thoughts can even catch up. Yet, amidst this whirlwind, there exists a simple but profound tool that can calm the chaos: your breath. Though often overlooked, the way you breathe holds immense power over how you feel, think, and respond to the world. Conscious breathing is more than just a biological function. It is a bridge between the body and the mind. By mastering your breath, you can regain control over your physiological responses and, in turn, quiet the mental storms of anxiety. The Stoics understood this deeply, seeing the breath as a means to remain grounded and present, even in moments of great turmoil. Anxiety triggers a cascade of physical reactions. The body enters a state of heightened alertness, preparing for a threat that may not even exist. This state, often called the fight-or-flight response, floods the body with stress hormones, quickens the heartbeat, and shortens the breath. Left unchecked, this cycle perpetuates itself, as the body's tension feeds the mind's worry, creating an endless loop of anxiety. The breath, however, is the one element of this loop that you can consciously control. Deep, intentional breathing interrupts this cycle by signaling to your nervous system that it's time to shift gears. A long, slow exhale can tell the brain that the perceived danger has passed, activating the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's natural relaxation response. This is not just theoretical, it's grounded in biology. When you slow your breathing, you lower your heart rate, reduce cortisol levels, and restore balance to your body's systems. The power of the breath lies in its accessibility. Unlike complex techniques or external tools, your breath is always with you, ready to be harnessed in moments of need. The Stoics viewed this simplicity as its greatest strength. Epictetus once said, "We cannot always control the events around us, but we can control the calm within us." Breath control is a direct way to cultivate that inner calm. To begin mastering your breath, it helps to understand the connection between breathing and awareness. Many people breathe shallowly and unconsciously, especially when stressed. Shallow breathing keeps the body in a heightened state of alertness, reinforcing feelings of tension. By shifting to deep, diaphragmatic breathing, you engage the full capacity of your lungs, allowing for greater oxygen flow and a sense of ease. This type of breathing not only calms the body, but also sharpens the mind, making it easier to think clearly and respond thoughtfully. Breath control can also be used proactively, not just in moments of anxiety, but as a daily practice to build resilience. Regularly practicing controlled breathing trains the body to respond differently to stress. Over time, this reduces the intensity and frequency of anxiety's grip. A simple practice, such as focusing on a steady inhale and exhale for a few minutes each morning, can set the tone for a calmer day. This aligns perfectly with Stoic teachings, which emphasize preparation and intentionality as keys to a steady mind. The breath is also a gateway to presence. Anxiety often pulls you into the future, worrying about what might happen, or into the past, replaying what went wrong. The breath, however, is always in the present moment. When you focus on it, you anchor yourself in the here and now, cutting through the noise of anxious thoughts. This act of mindfulness is both grounding and empowering, reminding you that the present is where your true power lies. Beyond its physical effects, breath control fosters a sense of agency. In moments of stress, it's easy to feel powerless, swept away by forces beyond your control. By consciously regulating your breath, you assert your ability to influence your internal state, even when external circumstances remain chaotic. This act of reclaiming control can be profoundly reassuring, reinforcing the Stoic principle that your inner world is always within your grasp. Breathing techniques vary, but their goal remains the same: to bring balance and calm to the body and mind. One effective method is box breathing, which involves inhaling for 4 counts, holding for 4 counts, exhaling for 4 counts, and pausing for 4 counts before repeating. This rhythmic pattern stabilizes the breath and quiets the mind, creating a sense of harmony that counteracts anxiety. Another technique, the extended exhale, focuses on lengthening the out-breath to activate the relaxation response. For example, you might inhale for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 8. This extended exhale signals to the brain that it's time to relax, helping to break the cycle of tension. Breath control can also be integrated into movement. Practices like walking meditation or gentle stretching paired with deep breathing combine physical activity with mindful awareness. These activities further reinforce the connection between body and mind, promoting a state of calm while keeping you engaged in the present. The Stoics valued discipline and consistency, and breath control is no exception. To truly harness its benefits, It must become a habit, a part of your daily life rather than a last resort in moments of crisis. The more regularly you practice, the more natural it becomes to turn to your breath when anxiety arises. This practice also enhances your ability to endure discomfort, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. By focusing on your breath during challenging situations, you cultivate patience and resilience. Whether you're stuck in traffic, facing a difficult conversation, or dealing with uncertainty, your breath becomes a steady companion, reminding you of your capacity to navigate the moment with grace. Breath control even extends to how you interact with others. In moments of conflict or tension, taking a few deep breaths before responding can prevent reactive outbursts and allow for a more measured approach. This not only reduces anxiety for yourself, but also fosters better communication and understanding. Finally, mastering your breath is an act of self-compassion. It's a reminder that you deserve moments of stillness and care, even amidst the demands of life. By prioritizing your breath, you prioritize your well-being, creating a foundation of calm that supports every other aspect of your life. In harnessing the power of your breath, you gain more than a tool for managing anxiety. You gain a lifelong practice of cultivating clarity, focus, and peace. Each breath becomes an opportunity to reconnect with your inner strength, to quiet the noise of the world, and to embrace the calm that is always within your reach. Having explored how mastering breath control anchors us in moments of turmoil, we now turn to a force that often feels far more daunting: fear. If breath provides a steady hand to guide us through the storms of anxiety, fear is the storm itself, seemingly powerful and untamed. But what if fear is not the adversary we imagine? What if it is a messenger, pointing us toward deeper truths about ourselves and the world? Fear often announces itself as a shadow in our path, a weight pressing against our chest, or a whisper of doubt that grows louder when silence falls. It is natural to want to run from it, suppress it, or fight against its presence. Yet, fear is neither a punishment nor a sign of weakness. It is a signal, an indicator that something valuable is at stake, and a challenge for us to rise to the occasion. The Stoics understood this relationship with fear profoundly. They viewed fear not as something to eradicate, but as something to examine and understand. Fear stems from anticipation, the belief that harm, failure, or loss lies ahead. It often has less to do with the present moment and more to do with our predictions about what could go wrong. By reframing fear as feedback rather than a barrier, we shift from being its victim to becoming its student. To begin this shift, the Stoics encouraged curiosity over avoidance. When fear arises, the initial impulse is often to distract ourselves or turn away, but suppression only amplifies fear's power. Instead, ask questions. What am I afraid of? Why does this matter to me? What is the worst-case scenario I fear? This approach may seem uncomfortable at first, but it transforms fear from an unspoken threat into a defined problem, one that can be addressed, managed, and even overcome. Fear is often rooted in uncertainty, and uncertainty magnifies when left unchecked. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, as a way to confront the unknown. By imagining potential challenges or losses in a constructive way, they prepared their minds for adversity. This wasn't an exercise in pessimism, but in resilience. When you have mentally walked through the possibilities, fear loses its element of surprise, allowing you to face uncertainty with calm and clarity. This practice also reveals the limits of fear's power. Often, our worst fears are not as catastrophic as they feel. When you trace fear to its source, you often find it relies on assumptions rather than facts. It tells stories of failure, rejection, or loss that may never come to pass. By confronting these stories directly, You strip fear of its ability to control you. The act of naming your fears and questioning their validity diminishes their hold. The Stoics also emphasized action as a remedy for fear. Anxiety and fear thrive in inertia. When you remain motionless, trapped in thought, fear grows louder and more persuasive. Taking action, no matter how small, breaks this cycle. Whether it's preparing for a challenge, seeking knowledge, or reaching out for support, action moves you from a passive state to an empowered one. Every step forward, no matter how tentative, is a victory over fear's paralyzing grip. Fear, at its core, reflects what we value. You fear losing what matters to you, your health, relationships, or sense of purpose. This means fear is also a guide, pointing toward areas where you must tread with care and intention. Instead of viewing fear as an obstacle, see it as a signal. It highlights what requires your focus, whether it's nurturing your well-being, strengthening your connections, or pursuing goals that align with your values. The Stoics also taught that fear is temporary. Like any emotion, it rises and falls, changing with time and perspective. This understanding offers comfort, reminding you that no feeling, no matter how intense, lasts forever. What seems overwhelming now will fade, especially when you face it head-on. Fear thrives on avoidance. Confronting it weakens its presence and restores your sense of control. Another way to reframe fear is by separating rational fears from irrational ones. Rational fears serve a protective function. They alert you to genuine risks and prompt you to act wisely. Irrational fears, however, are often exaggerated or misplaced, leading to unnecessary anxiety. Distinguishing between the two helps you allocate your energy appropriately, addressing legitimate concerns while releasing baseless worries. Fear also mirrors your inner beliefs. The fear of failure, for instance, often stems from a belief that your worth is tied to your achievements. The Stoics rejected this notion, emphasizing that your value is intrinsic and independent of external success. By questioning the beliefs underlying your fears, you can dismantle their foundation and replace them with healthier, more empowering perspectives. Courage, for the Stoics, was not the absence of fear, but the decision to act despite it. Fear is not an indicator of weakness, but of opportunity. Every act of courage begins with a moment of fear. When you choose to face fear rather than retreat from it, you expand your capacity for resilience, strength, and growth. Each step you take into the unknown reinforces your ability to navigate uncertainty with grace. Fear also invites introspection. It forces you to examine your priorities and question whether your attachments align with your values. Are you afraid of losing something because it is truly essential to your happiness, or because society has conditioned you to value it? This reflection deepens your understanding of what truly matters, enabling you to live with greater authenticity and intention. Gratitude offers another lens through which to view fear. While fear focuses on what you might lose, gratitude shifts your attention to what you already have. Practicing gratitude grounds you in the present moment, counteracting fear's fixation on the future. It reminds you that even if challenges lie ahead, you possess the resources, relationships, and resilience to face them. The Stoics also recognized that fear can connect us to others. Everyone experiences fear at some point in their lives. It is a shared aspect of the human condition. Recognizing this universality can make your fears feel less isolating. You are not alone in your struggles, and others have overcome similar challenges before you. Their stories can inspire you to approach your fears with courage and hope. Fear, when embraced, fosters humility. It reminds you of life's uncertainties and your limitations. Yet, this humility is a strength, not a weakness. It opens the door to learning, growth, and connection, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with greater wisdom and compassion. Reframing fear requires patience and practice. It's not about erasing fear entirely, but about transforming your relationship with it. Each time you meet fear with curiosity, courage, and action, you reinforce your ability to face life's uncertainties. Over time, fear shifts from being an enemy to becoming an ally, one that guides you toward deeper understanding, greater resilience, and a stronger sense of purpose. By changing how you perceive fear, you reclaim your power. Fear no longer controls your actions or defines your choices. Instead, it becomes a tool, a reminder to focus, prepare, and move forward with intention. In this way, fear ceases to be a force that holds you back and becomes a catalyst for growth and transformation. As fear shifts from a foe to a guide, the next step is to turn inward and examine how your daily life feeds into your worries and anxieties. Reflection becomes the bridge between understanding fear and taking meaningful action to reduce its hold. The Stoics taught that the way to mastery over the mind begins and ends with self-accountability, and nothing embodies this more than the practice of daily reflection. By taking time to evaluate your thoughts, actions, and responses, you create clarity and empower yourself to live with purpose and calm. Daily reflection is not merely about revisiting events, but about understanding them. It's a moment to step back from the noise of the day, examine how you navigated challenges, and realign with your values. This deliberate pause allows you to learn from mistakes without judgment, recognize victories without arrogance, and adjust your course with intention. It is a practice of honesty, humility, and growth, a daily reset for the mind. The Stoics emphasized the importance of evaluating one's day as a tool for reducing worry and cultivating inner peace. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about his reflections, using them as a means to confront his fears, refine his perspective, and center his mind. He approached his thoughts with curiosity, asking whether he had lived in accordance with his principles or allowed external circumstances to sway him. This practice gave him clarity and steadiness, even in the face of overwhelming pressures as an emperor. Self-accountability begins with recognizing your role in shaping your emotional landscape. Worry often arises not from external events, but from how you interpret and respond to them. Reflection helps you uncover these patterns, shedding light on the stories you tell yourself and how they contribute to your unease. For instance, if a critical comment from a colleague lingers in your mind, reflection allows you to examine why it affects you so deeply. Is it tied to an underlying insecurity? Did you misinterpret their words? By identifying these roots, you can address the cause of your worry rather than its symptoms. A key part of reflection is distinguishing between what you can control and what you cannot, a principle central to Stoicism. As you review your day, consider whether your energy was directed toward things within your influence or wasted on circumstances beyond it. This helps you identify where you can take meaningful action and where you need to let go. Over time, this practice trains your mind to focus on what truly matters, reducing unnecessary stress and mental clutter. Daily reflection is also a powerful way to confront fears that may linger beneath the surface. By bringing them into the light, you disarm their hold. Fear thrives in ambiguity, but reflection transforms it into a specific concern that can be addressed. For example, if you notice recurring worry about financial stability, reflection allows you to assess your current efforts and create a plan for improvement. Instead of letting fear dictate your actions, you use it as a catalyst for preparation and growth. Gratitude plays a vital role in this process. Amid the challenges and setbacks of the day, reflection invites you to notice what went well. Gratitude shifts your perspective from focusing solely on problems to appreciating progress, however small. This balanced view helps counteract worry by reminding you of your resilience and the support systems around you. Acknowledging your wins, no matter how minor, builds confidence and reinforces the belief that you are capable of facing future challenges. Consistency is key to making reflection a meaningful practice. It's not about perfecting it overnight, but about integrating it into your routine, even for a few minutes each evening. Start by asking yourself simple yet powerful questions. What did I handle well today? What could I have done better? Did my actions align with my values? Over time, these questions will guide you to deeper insights, helping you identify patterns and refine your approach to life. Reflection also serves as a tool for emotional regulation. By revisiting moments of tension or conflict, you can explore how your emotions influenced your responses. Were you reactive or thoughtful? Did anger or frustration cloud your judgment? This process isn't about self-criticism, but about learning to respond with greater composure in the future. Each evening becomes an opportunity to recalibrate, turning emotional triggers into lessons. Incorporating journaling into your reflections can deepen their impact. Writing provides a structured way to organize your thoughts and track your growth over time. It creates a record of your journey, allowing you to see how far you've come and recognize patterns you might otherwise miss. Journaling also offers a safe space to process emotions and untangle worries, bringing clarity and calm to the mind. The practice of evening reflection is also a moment to reconnect with your values. The chaos of daily life often pulls you in multiple directions, leaving little room to consider whether your actions align with what truly matters. Reflection restores this connection, helping you prioritize and make intentional choices. When your actions reflect your values, worry diminishes because you know you are living authentically. Reflection is also a means of letting go. At the end of each day, you carry the weight of unspoken thoughts, unresolved conflicts, and unmet expectations. These can accumulate, creating a mental burden that fuels anxiety. By taking the time to process and release these thoughts, you create a sense of closure. This doesn't mean suppressing what happened, but acknowledging it and deciding how to move forward. Letting go of what no longer serves you frees up mental space for clarity and focus. The Stoics also viewed reflection as a way to prepare for tomorrow. As you evaluate your day, you gain insights that guide your actions moving forward. If you notice a recurring challenge, use reflection to plan how you will address it differently. This proactive approach reduces worry by shifting your mindset from one of helplessness to one of readiness. Each evening becomes an opportunity to set the stage for a more intentional and centered tomorrow. Daily reflection fosters a sense of accountability that extends beyond the self. When you evaluate your interactions with others, you gain insights into how your behavior affects those around you. Did you listen with empathy? Were your actions fair and kind? This awareness strengthens your relationships and creates a foundation of trust and understanding. Knowing you have acted with integrity reduces the mental unrest that often accompanies unresolved conflicts. Reflection also deepens your connection to the present moment. While anxiety pulls you into the future and regret drags you into the past, reflection anchors you in the now. By focusing on what is within your power today, you cultivate a mindset of mindfulness and presence. This practice reminds you that growth happens in the small daily choices, not in grand gestures or perfect outcomes. Over time, reflection becomes more than a tool. It becomes a way of life. It teaches you to approach each day with curiosity and humility, recognizing that every experience holds the potential for learning. This mindset transforms worry into wisdom, replacing the fear of imperfection with a commitment to progress. Reflection is not about achieving perfection, but about embracing the journey with intention and grace. Through daily reflection, you cultivate a relationship with yourself that is honest, compassionate, and empowering. You learn to face your fears, celebrate your strengths, and navigate life's uncertainties with resilience. In the quiet moments of the evening, as you review your day, you are not just reducing worry, you are building a foundation for a life of clarity, purpose, and peace. Daily reflection lays a foundation of self-awareness and accountability, offering clarity and focus. From this groundwork emerges a more significant endeavor: cultivating emotional resilience. Life's uncertainties test the strength of your mind and heart, and the ability to remain steady in the face of adversity is a hallmark of Stoic philosophy. Emotional resilience is not an inherent trait, but a skill, one that can be developed through practice and discipline. Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, two towering figures of Stoicism, left timeless lessons on how to build this unshakable strength. Emotional resilience begins with the ability to distinguish between what happens to you and how you interpret it. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on this separation, reminding himself that external events are neutral until his mind assigns meaning to them. He understood that emotions do not arise from events themselves, but from the judgments we place on them. This insight is empowering because it shifts control back to you. While you cannot dictate every circumstance, you can shape your response to it. To practice this, consider reframing challenges as opportunities for growth. When adversity strikes, the first reaction is often frustration, sadness, or fear. These emotions stem from the belief that the event should not have occurred. The Stoics, however, viewed obstacles as chances to strengthen their character. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This perspective doesn't deny the difficulty of challenges, but invites you to approach them with curiosity and determination. Seneca, too, emphasized the importance of preparing the mind for hardship. He advocated for voluntary discomfort as a way to build resilience. By intentionally exposing yourself to minor inconveniences, you reduce the power they hold over you. For example, skipping a meal or walking instead of driving helps you realize that discomfort is temporary and survivable. This practice creates a buffer against future hardships, making unexpected difficulties less daunting. Another cornerstone of emotional resilience is acceptance. Resisting reality only intensifies emotional turmoil. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to align with nature, recognizing that life unfolds as it must. Acceptance doesn't mean complacency, but a willingness to work with what is, rather than wishing for something else. This mindset allows you to focus on solutions rather than dwelling on problems. Emotional resilience also involves cultivating inner stability. Seneca compared the mind to a fortress, emphasizing that true security comes from within. To build this fortress, he encouraged detachment from external outcomes. By focusing on your values and principles, rather than the opinions or actions of others, you create a foundation that cannot be shaken by external events. This detachment doesn't mean indifference, but prioritizing what truly matters. Another powerful practice is recognizing the impermanence of emotions. No feeling lasts forever, and this includes the intense ones that accompany adversity. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that emotions are like passing clouds, temporary and insubstantial. This understanding allows you to ride out emotional storms without being consumed by them. Instead of resisting emotions, acknowledge their presence, observe them without judgment, and let them pass naturally. Seneca also taught the importance of focusing on what you can give rather than what you can gain. Generosity, whether through time, energy, or resources, shifts your focus outward, and fosters emotional resilience. Helping others provides perspective, reminding you that challenges are not unique to you. It also reinforces a sense of purpose, which is a powerful antidote to despair. Another key lesson from the Stoics is the value of perspective. Both Marcus Aurelius and Seneca emphasized the importance of stepping back and viewing problems in the broader context of life. Marcus often reflected on the vastness of the universe, reminding himself that his struggles were but a small part of a greater whole. This perspective doesn't trivialize difficulties, but places them in a context that reduces their overwhelming power. Gratitude is another tool for building emotional resilience. Seneca wrote about the importance of appreciating what you have rather than longing for what you lack. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is present, creating a sense of abundance even in challenging times. This practice not only fosters emotional strength, but also cultivates contentment. Resilience also requires flexibility. Rigidity in thought or expectation makes it harder to adapt to life's changes. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the importance of adapting to circumstances rather than clinging to how things should be. Flexibility doesn't mean abandoning your principles, but finding new ways to uphold them in changing conditions. This adaptability is key to navigating uncertainty with grace. Seneca also emphasized the role of reason in building resilience. He encouraged examining emotions with a rational lens, asking whether they were based on fact or assumption. Fear, for instance, often arises from imagining worst-case scenarios that may never occur. By questioning the validity of these fears, you weaken their grip and strengthen your emotional stability. Marcus Aurelius often practiced gratitude for the people in his life, even those who challenged him. He saw every interaction as an opportunity to practice patience, kindness, or courage. This mindset transforms relationships from sources of stress into arenas for growth. By approaching others with empathy and understanding, you strengthen your emotional resilience while deepening your connections. Resilience also involves setting boundaries. Seneca spoke about the importance of protecting your time and energy from unnecessary distractions. By focusing on what aligns with your values, you preserve your emotional resources for what truly matters. Boundaries are not about isolation, but about intentionality, choosing where to invest your energy to create a life of purpose and balance. A practice central to Stoicism is self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to act according to his principles, even when it was difficult. This commitment to integrity builds trust in yourself, reinforcing the belief that you can handle challenges without compromising your values. Self-discipline also creates a sense of stability, as it anchors your actions in purpose rather than impulse. Resilience is further strengthened by embracing failure as a teacher. Seneca viewed mistakes not as setbacks, but as opportunities to learn and grow. He encouraged approaching failures with humility and curiosity, asking what they could teach. This mindset removes the stigma of failure, replacing it with a sense of empowerment. Both Marcus Aurelius and Seneca emphasized the importance of solitude in cultivating resilience. Time spent alone allows for reflection, clarity, and the opportunity to reconnect with your values. Solitude is not about withdrawing from the world, but creating space to center yourself and recharge. This practice strengthens your ability to face external challenges without losing your inner balance. Resilience requires a commitment to growth. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that life's purpose is to improve, to grow in wisdom, virtue, and strength. Each challenge, no matter how difficult, is an opportunity to become more resilient, more understanding, and more compassionate. This commitment to progress transforms adversity from something to fear into something to embrace. By applying these lessons from Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, you cultivate a resilience that withstands life's uncertainties. This emotional strength is not a shield that blocks challenges, but a foundation that supports you as you navigate them. It empowers you to face difficulties with courage, clarity, and calm, turning even the harshest trials into opportunities for growth and meaning. Having explored the foundations of emotional resilience through the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, the next challenge is addressing a subtle but relentless adversary, the cycle of rumination. Overthinking, with its endless loops of self-doubt, regret, and worry, can quietly erode even the most resilient mind. It consumes energy, robs focus, and keeps you stuck in a mental fog. The Stoics recognized this destructive pattern and developed powerful techniques to break free from its grip, redirecting thought toward meaningful action and clarity. Rumination thrives on the illusion that endless thinking will solve your problems. It disguises itself as a productive process, convincing you that replaying events, revisiting conversations, or forecasting potential scenarios will somehow bring resolution. Instead, it amplifies anxiety, prolongs uncertainty, and leaves you exhausted. The Stoic approach is to confront this cycle head-on, recognizing its patterns and applying intentional strategies to disrupt it. A fundamental principle in Stoicism is recognizing the role of judgment in shaping your emotional state. Events themselves are neutral. It is your interpretation of them that creates distress. Rumination often arises from assigning unnecessary weight to past actions or future possibilities. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself that the past cannot be undone and the future remains uncertain. The only realm where your thoughts and actions have power is the present. This understanding is key to dismantling the mental loops of overthinking. To disrupt rumination, the Stoics emphasized focusing on what is within your control. When thoughts spiral, it's often because your mind is fixating on factors you cannot influence, other people's opinions, outcomes of past decisions, or hypothetical scenarios. By redirecting your attention to actionable steps within your power, you regain a sense of agency. For example, instead of replaying a mistake repeatedly, consider what you can do now to rectify it or prevent a similar issue in the future. This shift transforms passive worry into purposeful action. Another effective method is the practice of mindfulness, though the Stoics framed it as presence and attention to the now. Overthinking often pulls you into the past or the future, leaving little room to engage with the present moment. When you notice your thoughts spiraling, grounding yourself in what you are doing can help break the cycle. This might involve focusing on your breath, the sounds around you, or the sensations of a task at hand. By anchoring your mind in the present, you disrupt the endless loop of rumination. The Stoics also taught the importance of intentional thinking. Instead of allowing your mind to wander aimlessly, guide your thoughts with purposeful reflection. Seneca often recommended reflecting on one's values and aligning thoughts and actions with them. When faced with repetitive thoughts, ask yourself, does this thinking serve a purpose? Is it helping me grow, solve a problem, or act with integrity? If the answer is no, redirect your attention to something that does. Journaling is another powerful tool to combat overthinking. Writing down your thoughts allows you to externalize them, reducing their intensity and making them more manageable. By seeing your worries on paper, you can evaluate them more objectively. Are these concerns valid? Are they based on evidence or assumptions? Writing also provides clarity, helping you identify patterns in your thinking and address the root causes of your rumination. The Stoics placed great value on simplicity and focus. Overthinking often stems from trying to juggle too many concerns at once, leading to mental clutter. Simplifying your priorities and focusing on one task or decision at a time can reduce the overwhelm that fuels rumination. Break larger problems into smaller, actionable steps and tackle them one by one. This approach not only quiets the mind, but also fosters a sense of accomplishment and momentum. Another Stoic practice is reframing. Rumination often focuses on the negative, what went wrong, what could go wrong, or what you wish had been different. Reframing involves shifting your perspective to see challenges as opportunities for growth and setbacks as lessons. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself to view obstacles as opportunities to practice virtues like patience, courage, or perseverance. This mindset doesn't erase difficulties, but empowers you to approach them constructively. Physical activity can also disrupt the cycle of rumination. The Stoics recognized the connection between the mind and body, advocating for a balanced life that includes movement and exercise. Engaging in physical activity, whether it's walking, running, or practicing yoga, redirects your energy and clears your mind. Movement stimulates the release of endorphins, lifting your mood and creating mental clarity. It also provides a break from the mental loop, allowing you to return to your thoughts with a fresh perspective. The Stoics were also firm believers in setting boundaries for the mind. Just as you would guard your physical space, it's essential to protect your mental space from unnecessary distractions and negativity. This might involve limiting exposure to news or social media that fuels anxiety, avoiding conversations that lead to unproductive worry, or setting clear times for reflection and action. By creating mental boundaries, you reduce the triggers that feed rumination. Gratitude is another antidote to overthinking. When your mind fixates on what's wrong or what might go wrong, shifting your focus to what is right in your life can break the cycle. Reflecting on even small sources of gratitude, relationships, achievements, or simple pleasures, reframes your mindset and reminds you of the positive aspects of your situation. Gratitude doesn't dismiss challenges, but balances them with acknowledgement of what's working. The Stoics also emphasize the importance of accepting imperfection. Overthinking often arises from a desire to get everything right, to avoid mistakes, disappointments, or risks. This perfectionism creates pressure and anxiety, fueling the cycle of rumination. By embracing the inevitability of imperfection, you free yourself from unrealistic expectations. Seneca often reminded himself that failure is not the opposite of success, but a step toward it. Accepting this truth allows you to approach challenges with a calmer, more open mind. Engaging with others can also help disrupt overthinking. Sharing your thoughts with a trusted friend, mentor, or therapist provides perspective and support. They may offer insights you hadn't considered or simply provide a listening ear, helping you process your worries. Connection reminds you that you are not alone in your struggles and that others have faced and overcome similar challenges. The Stoics encourage the practice of letting go. This doesn't mean ignoring your responsibilities or abandoning meaningful pursuits, but releasing attachment to outcomes. Overthinking often stems from trying to control what you cannot. By focusing on effort rather than results, you liberate yourself from the burden of needing everything to go a certain way. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself to act with integrity and let the results unfold as they may. This mindset fosters peace, allowing you to engage fully in the present without being consumed by worry about the future. Breaking the cycle of rumination is not about silencing your thoughts entirely, but about redirecting them toward what is meaningful and constructive. Through the Stoic practices of mindfulness, intentional thinking, gratitude, and detachment, you can reclaim your mental space and restore clarity. Each step you take toward disrupting overthinking strengthens your ability to face life's challenges with focus and confidence. As the grip of overthinking loosens through deliberate action and mindful reflection, the mind becomes ready to engage with a more empowering practice, visualization. While rumination traps you in cycles of doubt, visualization provides a way forward, allowing you to mentally rehearse success, confront challenges with confidence, and reduce anxiety by preparing for what lies ahead. For the Stoics, visualization was not about wishful thinking, but about grounding the mind in purposeful preparation and building inner strength. The practice of visualization begins with clarity. The Stoics believed that much of life's anxiety arises from the unknown, those vague, undefined fears that seem insurmountable when left unexamined. By visualizing scenarios, both the potential obstacles and their solutions, you give shape to the unknown and reduce its power. Marcus Aurelius often encouraged himself to anticipate difficulties not with dread, but with the calm understanding that preparation neutralizes fear. Visualization is rooted in the Stoic principle of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This exercise involves imagining challenges or setbacks that may arise and mentally rehearsing how you will handle them. The goal is not to dwell on worst-case scenarios, but to cultivate resilience. When you have mentally walked through difficulties, they no longer feel as daunting when they occur. By preparing your mind, you diminish the emotional impact of the unexpected and increase your ability to respond effectively. This practice also sharpens your focus on what is within your control. Visualizing challenges allows you to separate external factors, which you cannot influence, from internal ones, which you can. For example, if you are preparing for a difficult conversation, visualization helps you focus on your tone, clarity, and approach rather than the other person's reaction. This shift empowers you to act with intention rather than being consumed by anxiety over outcomes beyond your control. Visualization is equally effective in building confidence. The Stoics understood that fear often arises from a lack of familiarity. When you visualize yourself successfully navigating a situation, you create a mental blueprint for action. This mental rehearsal reinforces the belief that you are capable, reducing hesitation and self-doubt. Over time, this practice builds a foundation of confidence that supports you in both expected and unexpected challenges. Another aspect of visualization is its role in aligning actions with values. By mentally rehearsing situations, you can clarify how you wish to respond in a way that reflects your principles. Seneca often wrote about the importance of acting in accordance with one's values, even in adversity. Visualization helps you prepare to uphold these values under pressure, ensuring that your decisions are guided by integrity rather than reactive emotions. The Stoics also used visualization to maintain perspective. Life's challenges often feel overwhelming because they appear isolated and magnified. By mentally placing them within the broader context of your life, you can reduce their intensity. For instance, visualizing yourself a year from now, looking back on the challenge you currently face, can remind you of its temporary nature and your ability to overcome it. This practice fosters patience and perspective, reducing the urgency and anxiety that often accompany difficult situations. Visualization is not limited to preparing for difficulties. It also involves rehearsing success. When you mentally walk through achieving your goals, you reinforce the steps needed to reach them. This process not only boosts motivation, but also reduces uncertainty by clarifying the path forward. For example, visualizing a successful presentation allows you to focus on the key points you wish to convey, anticipate potential questions, and mentally practice delivering your message with confidence. A crucial element of visualization is incorporating emotional regulation. Challenges often provoke strong emotions, fear, frustration, or doubt that can cloud judgment. By visualizing these emotions arising and practicing how to respond to them, you build emotional resilience. For instance, if you anticipate feeling nervous before a public speech, you can rehearse grounding techniques such as deep breathing or focusing on your key message. This preparation helps you remain composed in the moment, reducing anxiety and enhancing performance. Another benefit of visualization is its ability to transform fear into motivation. When you confront a challenge mentally, you turn passive worry into active preparation. Fear becomes a signal to focus your efforts rather than a barrier to action. This shift not only reduces anxiety, but also channels your energy into productive planning and execution. The Stoics also emphasize the importance of gratitude in visualization. While preparing for challenges, they encouraged reflecting on the resources, relationships, and strengths you already possess. Gratitude shifts the focus from what might go wrong to what you already have that can help you succeed. This mindset builds confidence and reinforces the belief that you are equipped to handle difficulties. Incorporating visualization into your daily routine creates consistency and reinforces its benefits. Morning visualization can set the tone for the day, helping you anticipate challenges and mentally prepare for them. Evening visualization allows you to reflect on the day's events and rehearse how you might approach similar situations in the future. This practice creates a cycle of preparation and learning that strengthens your ability to face life's uncertainties. Visualization also serves as a bridge between thought and action. It is not enough to mentally rehearse. The insights gained must translate into deliberate steps. For example, if you visualize succeeding in a job interview, use that mental rehearsal to identify specific actions you can take, such as researching the company, preparing thoughtful answers, or practicing your body language. This connection between mind and action ensures that visualization is not passive, but purposeful. One of the most empowering aspects of visualization is its ability to create a sense of calm amidst uncertainty. When you mentally prepare for what lies ahead, you reduce the element of surprise that often triggers anxiety. Visualization allows you to approach challenges with a sense of readiness, knowing that you have already considered and rehearsed potential outcomes. The Stoics also used visualization to cultivate humility. By anticipating both successes and setbacks, you develop a balanced perspective that keeps you grounded. Success is celebrated without arrogance, and failure is approached without despair. This mindset fosters resilience, allowing you to navigate the highs and lows of life with equanimity. Another dimension of visualization is its role in strengthening relationships. By mentally rehearsing interactions, you can approach conversations with empathy and understanding. This preparation allows you to anticipate the needs or concerns of others, fostering better communication and connection. Visualization also helps you prepare for difficult conversations by clarifying your intentions and ensuring that your words align with your values. Visualization enhances your ability to adapt. Life rarely unfolds exactly as planned, but mental rehearsal equips you to respond flexibly to unexpected changes. By visualizing multiple scenarios, you develop a range of strategies that allow you to pivot when needed. This adaptability reduces the stress of uncertainty and empowers you to navigate challenges with confidence. Ultimately, visualization is a practice of empowerment. It shifts your focus from what might happen to how you will respond. By preparing your mind, you reduce the weight of anxiety and increase your ability to act with clarity and purpose. Each time you visualize success or rehearse overcoming a challenge, You strengthen your inner resolve and build a mental framework for thriving in the face of adversity. Through the Stoic techniques of visualization, you cultivate not just confidence, but a deep sense of readiness for life's challenges. This practice transforms uncertainty from a source of fear into an opportunity for growth, allowing you to approach each day with focus, intention, and calm determination. As visualization transforms uncertainty into purpose and confidence, the next step is to cultivate a mindset that consistently anchors you in the present and shifts your focus from fear to abundance. Gratitude, a central practice in Stoic philosophy, serves as a powerful tool to achieve this. Far from being a passive exercise, gratitude is an active discipline that reorients your thoughts, fosters resilience, and counterbalances the pull of anxiety by highlighting the richness already present in your life. Gratitude begins with attention. Much of the anxiety that weighs on the mind stems from focusing on what is lacking, what might go wrong, or what could have been. The Stoics understood this well and advocated for redirecting that focus to what is already present, what is going right, what you have accomplished, and what supports you in this moment. By consciously shifting your attention to these positives, you weaken fear's grip and cultivate a sense of abundance. Marcus Aurelius frequently reflected on gratitude in his writings, often thanking life itself for the opportunities it provided for growth, even in difficulty. He reminded himself that every experience, pleasant or challenging, contributed to his development. This perspective turns life's challenges into sources of gratitude as they shape the person you become. It is not about denying pain or hardship, but recognizing the value within them. Gratitude also fosters clarity by helping you separate what truly matters from what merely distracts. Anxiety often amplifies concerns that are ultimately insignificant, pulling your attention away from meaningful pursuits. Practicing gratitude grounds you in what is essential: relationships, health, growth, and moments of joy. This clarity helps you prioritize and let go of unnecessary worry. The act of gratitude also builds resilience. When you focus on what you are thankful for, you strengthen your ability to face adversity. Seneca often wrote about appreciating life's simple pleasures, such as a kind word, a shared meal, or a moment of peace. These small acts of gratitude accumulate, creating a buffer against the impact of larger challenges. They remind you that even in difficult times, there is still goodness to be found. Gratitude is not merely a mental exercise, but a way of living that shapes your actions and interactions. When you approach life with gratitude, you are more likely to treat others with kindness and generosity. This creates a ripple effect, fostering stronger connections and a sense of community. The Stoics believed in the interconnectedness of humanity, and gratitude strengthens this bond by highlighting the support and contributions of others in your life. Practicing gratitude also shifts your relationship with time. Anxiety often arises from living too much in the future or dwelling on the past. Gratitude anchors you in the present by directing your attention to what exists here and now. It reminds you that this moment, with all its imperfections, is still full of value. This grounding effect reduces the pull of anxiety and allows you to engage more fully with life as it unfolds. One way to cultivate gratitude is through reflective practices such as journaling. Writing down what you are thankful for each day reinforces the habit of noticing positives even in challenging situations. The act of recording these moments makes them tangible and helps you recognize patterns of abundance that might otherwise go unnoticed. Over time, this practice rewires your perspective, making gratitude a natural part of your thought process. Another powerful aspect of gratitude is its ability to transform your view of relationships. Instead of focusing on what others might owe you or how they fall short, gratitude encourages you to appreciate their presence, support, and contributions. This shift not only strengthens bonds, but also reduces the conflicts and disappointments that arise from unrealistic expectations. Gratitude fosters empathy and understanding, deepening your connection with others. Gratitude also plays a crucial role in how you approach challenges. Instead of fixating on what a difficulty might take from you, gratitude helps you focus on what it can teach you or what strengths it might reveal. This mindset aligns with the Stoic belief that obstacles are opportunities for growth. By finding gratitude even in adversity, you turn hardship into a source of empowerment. The practice of gratitude extends beyond personal gain. It influences how you interact with the world. When you are grateful for the resources and opportunities you have, you are more likely to share them with others. This creates a cycle of generosity that benefits not only those around you, but also reinforces your own sense of abundance. Seneca often spoke of the joy that comes from giving, viewing it as an expression of gratitude for what life has provided. Gratitude also helps you redefine success. In a world that often equates achievement with accumulation, practicing gratitude shifts the focus to fulfillment and contentment. Instead of constantly striving for more, you learn to appreciate what you already have, recognizing that true wealth lies in your perspective rather than your possessions. This redefinition of success reduces the anxiety that comes from chasing external validation. The Stoics also saw gratitude as a way to embrace impermanence. Life's fleeting nature can provoke fear and sadness, but gratitude transforms this into appreciation. When you acknowledge that nothing lasts forever, you are inspired to cherish the present moment and the people within it. This mindset fosters a deep sense of presence and reduces the regret or longing that often accompanies change. Gratitude strengthens your ability to handle uncertainty. By focusing on what you have rather than what you lack, you build a foundation of trust in your own resilience. This trust allows you to face the unknown with greater confidence, knowing that even if challenges arise, there is still much to be grateful for. Gratitude shifts your perspective from fear of what might go wrong to faith in your ability to navigate whatever comes. Another benefit of gratitude is its impact on emotional well-being. When you focus on what you appreciate, your brain releases chemicals such as dopamine and serotonin, which enhance mood and reduce stress. This physiological effect reinforces the practice of gratitude, creating a positive feedback loop that counters anxiety and fosters a sense of peace. Gratitude also deepens your sense of purpose. When you acknowledge the blessings in your life, you are reminded of your capacity to contribute and give back. This sense of purpose reduces the aimlessness that often fuels anxiety and replaces it with a clear direction. Gratitude connects you to something larger than yourself, whether it's a community, a cause, or a personal mission. Incorporating gratitude into daily life requires consistency and intentionality. It's not about ignoring difficulties or pretending life is perfect, but about choosing to see the good alongside the challenges. Simple practices, such as thanking others, pausing to appreciate a beautiful moment, or reflecting on your day, keep gratitude at the forefront of your mind. Over time, this habit becomes second nature, shaping how you perceive and interact with the world. Through the practice of gratitude, you create a mental and emotional environment that supports resilience, reduces fear, and fosters abundance. Gratitude is not just a response to life's blessings, but a way of living that amplifies them. As you cultivate this mindset, you discover that even amidst uncertainty, there is always something to be thankful for, a realization that transforms anxiety into a profound sense of peace. gratitude teaches you to appreciate the present and find strength in what you already possess, but life rarely remains steady. Uncertainty is an inevitable part of existence, and it often brings anxiety, fear, and hesitation. Yet, the Stoics approach the unknown not with dread, but with a deliberate mindset of preparation and readiness. Their philosophy offers a way to navigate the unpredictable with calm and purpose, balancing preparation with acceptance to avoid falling into paranoia. Facing uncertainty begins with acknowledging its nature. The Stoics understood that life's unpredictability is not an aberration, but its very essence. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself that change is a constant, and trying to resist it only amplifies discomfort. When you accept that uncertainty is unavoidable, you free yourself from the futile effort of trying to control the uncontrollable. This acceptance doesn't mean passivity. Rather, it creates space for thoughtful preparation. Preparation is rooted in clarity. The Stoics practiced examining potential scenarios with a calm and rational mind, asking what could realistically happen and what steps could be taken in response. This is not about dwelling on worst-case scenarios, but creating a mental framework for handling them. By anticipating challenges, you reduce their emotional impact and equip yourself to respond with steadiness. A vital aspect of preparedness is identifying what lies within your control. Anxiety often stems from focusing on external factors, outcomes, opinions, or circumstances that are beyond your influence. The Stoics emphasized redirecting your energy toward what you can affect, your actions, decisions, and mindset. For instance, if uncertainty surrounds a job opportunity, you may not control the final decision, but you can control your effort, preparation, and attitude. Preparedness also involves cultivating adaptability. Life's challenges rarely unfold as planned, and rigidity in thought or action can amplify stress. The Stoics encouraged embracing flexibility, understanding that adaptability is a strength, not a compromise. Seneca wrote about the importance of being like a river, flowing around obstacles rather than fighting against them. This mindset allows you to pivot gracefully when plans shift, reducing frustration and maintaining focus on your goals. Another cornerstone of facing uncertainty is the practice of voluntary discomfort. By deliberately exposing yourself to manageable challenges, you build resilience and diminish the fear of the unknown. This might include stepping out of your comfort zone in small ways, such as trying a new skill, engaging in difficult conversations, or testing your limits in controlled environments. These experiences teach you that discomfort is temporary and that you are capable of navigating it. Preparedness also extends to your emotional state. Anxiety about the unknown often arises from unchecked emotional responses. The Stoics advocated for grounding techniques such as deep breathing or mindfulness to center yourself when faced with uncertainty. These practices help you maintain composure, preventing reactive decisions driven by fear or frustration. Emotional stability is a key component of readiness, allowing you to approach challenges with clarity. Perspective plays a critical role in handling the unknown. The Stoics often reflected on the impermanence of life to put challenges into context. When uncertainty feels overwhelming, stepping back and viewing it within the broader arc of your existence can reduce its weight. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself that most worries are fleeting and their significance diminishes with time. This perspective fosters patience and encourages thoughtful action rather than impulsive reactions. Preparedness also involves fostering a support network. The Stoics valued the interconnectedness of humanity, recognizing that facing challenges is not a solitary endeavor. Building relationships with people who offer guidance, encouragement, and shared wisdom strengthens your ability to handle the unexpected. A trusted friend, mentor, or community provides perspective and reminds you that you are not alone in navigating uncertainty. Another essential aspect of preparedness is setting clear priorities. When the future feels uncertain, it's easy to become overwhelmed by competing demands or fears. The Stoics emphasized focusing on what aligns with your values and letting go of distractions. By clarifying your priorities, you channel your energy into what truly matters, reducing the mental clutter that often accompanies uncertainty. Action is a powerful antidote to the paralysis that uncertainty can create. The Stoics believed in taking deliberate steps, no matter how small, to move forward. When faced with the unknown, identify one action you can take to reduce ambiguity or progress toward a goal. This proactive approach shifts your mindset from one of helplessness to one of empowerment, breaking the cycle of worry and inertia. Seneca often wrote about the importance of self-trust in navigating uncertainty. Cultivating confidence in your ability to handle challenges builds resilience. This trust is not about knowing all the answers, but about believing in your resourcefulness and capacity to adapt. Each time you successfully face a challenge, you reinforce this belief, creating a foundation of inner strength. The Stoics also advocated for detachment from outcomes. Anxiety about the future often stems from attaching your happiness or self-worth to specific results. By focusing on the process rather than the outcome, you reduce the emotional stakes of uncertainty. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself to act with integrity and let the results unfold as they may. This mindset fosters peace, allowing you to engage fully without being consumed by worry. Gratitude complements preparedness by shifting your focus from what might go wrong to what you already have. When you appreciate your strengths, resources, and support systems, you approach challenges with a sense of abundance rather than scarcity. Gratitude also grounds you in the present, reducing the pull of anxiety about an uncertain future. Preparedness involves continuous learning. The Stoics believed that knowledge equips you to handle life's challenges more effectively. Whether through reading, seeking mentorship, or reflecting on past experiences, expanding your understanding prepares you to navigate the unknown with confidence. Each lesson learned becomes a tool for future situations, reinforcing your readiness. Facing uncertainty also requires a commitment to self-care. Anxiety about the future often depletes your mental and physical energy, leaving you less equipped to handle challenges. Prioritizing rest, exercise, and nourishing activities ensures that you are operating from a place of strength. The Stoics understood that a healthy body supports a clear mind, and both are essential for navigating life's unpredictability. Facing the unknown is an opportunity for growth. The Stoics viewed challenges as a natural part of life, designed to test and strengthen character. When uncertainty arises, approach it as a teacher rather than a threat. Each experience, no matter how difficult, offers lessons that deepen your understanding and resilience. By embracing uncertainty with a mindset of preparedness, you transform it from a source of anxiety into a field of possibility. The Stoic practices of anticipation, adaptability, and intentional action equip you to navigate life's unpredictability with calm and purpose. With each step forward, you build confidence in your ability to face whatever comes, creating a life rooted in clarity and strength, even amid the unknown. As preparedness equips you to navigate uncertainty with calm and intention, a natural progression emerges, the cultivation of hope and courage in the face of life's inevitable adversities. Challenges and hardships test even the most prepared mind, but the Stoics taught that adversity is not the end. it is the beginning of transformation. Acceptance and hope, far from being passive states, are powerful tools that allow you to meet difficulty with strength and optimism, building trust in life's unfolding process. Hope in Stoic philosophy is not rooted in wishful thinking, but in a deep-seated confidence in your ability to endure and grow. It begins with acceptance, the acknowledgement that life is filled with change, challenge, and uncertainty. By embracing this truth, you release the resistance that amplifies suffering. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that the universe operates according to its own rhythm, and it is your task to align with it rather than fight against it. This alignment fosters hope by reminding you that each challenge, no matter how difficult, has its place in the larger order. Courage is the companion of hope, and together they form the foundation of Stoic optimism. Adversity requires not just a belief in a better future, but the bravery to act in its pursuit. The Stoics recognized that fear often paralyzes, while courage liberates. Seneca wrote extensively on fortitude, emphasizing that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. Each step taken with courage reinforces hope, creating a cycle of resilience that transforms anxiety into trust. Acceptance is not about resignation, but about focusing your energy where it is most effective. When you accept what cannot be changed, you free yourself to act on what can. This perspective reduces the mental struggle that often accompanies adversity, shifting your focus from obstacles to opportunities. Acceptance also fosters emotional stability, as you are no longer consumed by frustration or resistance. In this steadiness, hope takes root, allowing you to see beyond immediate hardships to the potential for growth and renewal. Gratitude plays a central role in cultivating hope. When faced with adversity, it is easy to focus solely on what has been lost or what is at risk. Gratitude shifts your attention to what remains and what can still be built upon. This perspective reinforces the belief that even in difficult times, there is still much to be thankful for. Seneca often encouraged finding joy in small blessings, as they remind you of life's resilience and abundance. Gratitude nourishes hope by keeping you grounded in the present while fostering optimism for the future. Perspective is another cornerstone of Stoic optimism. Adversity often feels overwhelming because it consumes your immediate focus. The Stoics advocated stepping back and viewing challenges within the broader context of life. Marcus Aurelius frequently reflected on the vastness of time and the fleeting nature of individual struggles. This perspective doesn't dismiss the significance of adversity, but places it within a framework that reduces its weight. When you recognize that hardships are temporary and part of a larger process, hope naturally emerges. Stoic optimism is also deeply tied to action. Hope without action remains stagnant, but when paired with purposeful effort, it becomes a force for transformation. The Stoics emphasize taking deliberate steps toward solutions, no matter how small. Each action reinforces the belief that progress is possible, even in the face of difficulty. This proactive approach shifts your mindset from one of helplessness to one of empowerment, strengthening both hope and courage. Resilience is both a product and a driver of hope. Each time you endure and overcome adversity, you reinforce your belief in your ability to navigate future challenges. This cycle builds an inner strength that is unshaken by external circumstances. The Stoics saw resilience as a practice of returning to your principles and values, even in the hardest times. By holding steadfast to what matters most, you cultivate a sense of purpose that fuels hope. The practice of visualization, previously discussed, also plays a role in fostering hope. By mentally rehearsing success or resilience, you create a blueprint for courage. Visualizing yourself navigating adversity with grace and strength reinforces your belief in your capacity to do so. This mental preparation reduces fear and bolsters confidence, creating a foundation for optimism even in uncertain times. Connection with others is another essential aspect of Stoic hope. Adversity often isolates, but the Stoics recognize the power of community in fostering resilience. Sharing burdens, seeking guidance, or simply finding solace in shared experiences strengthens your ability to face challenges. The Stoics valued relationships not just as sources of support, but as opportunities to contribute and uplift others. This reciprocal connection reinforces hope by reminding you that you are never alone in your struggles. Stoic optimism also involves letting go of attachment to specific outcomes. Anxiety often arises from rigid expectations about how life should unfold. By releasing these attachments and focusing on effort rather than results, you reduce the mental strain of trying to control the uncontrollable. This mindset creates space for hope, as it shifts your focus from what you lack to what you can create or experience. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to act with integrity and leave the rest to the natural order, a practice that fosters both peace and optimism. Faith in your ability to learn and grow also fuels hope. The Stoics viewed adversity as a teacher, offering lessons that deepen wisdom and strengthen character. When you approach challenges as opportunities for learning, you transform them from sources of despair into catalysts for growth. Each lesson learned reinforces your belief in your ability to navigate future difficulties, creating a cycle of confidence and hope. Hope is also cultivated through the practice of mindfulness. By focusing on the present moment, you reduce the pull of anxiety about the future. The present is where action happens, where resilience is built, and where gratitude is felt. Mindfulness anchors you in what you can do now, creating a sense of control and purpose that counterbalances fear of the unknown. The Stoics also taught that hope requires humility. Adversity often exposes vulnerabilities, but instead of resisting these truths, the Stoics embraced them as reminders of their humanity. Humility allows you to accept help, seek guidance, and adapt to changing circumstances without shame. This openness fosters connection, learning, and the belief that you are capable of enduring and overcoming. Stoic hope is not blind optimism, but a disciplined practice of focusing on what can be done, appreciating what exists, and trusting in your ability to grow through challenges. It transforms anxiety by redirecting your energy from fear to purpose, from despair to action. Each step you take in cultivating hope strengthens your capacity to face adversity with courage and grace. Through acceptance, action, gratitude, and resilience, Stoic optimism becomes a guiding force that not only reduces anxiety, but deepens your trust in life's unfolding process. It reminds you that even in the face of difficulty, there is always room for growth, always an opportunity for strength, and always the possibility of light breaking through. As hope and courage anchor you through adversity, the next step is refining your life by quietly letting go of what no longer serves you. The Stoics believed that true peace comes not from adding more, but from removing the unnecessary. What drains your energy, clouds your judgment, or pulls you away from your purpose. This act of elimination is not dramatic or loud. It is a quiet, intentional process of creating space for clarity, resilience, and growth. The first step in this process is recognizing the weight of negativity. Relationships, habits, or environments steeped in negativity often disguise themselves as normal, but they silently erode your sense of well-being. The Stoics taught that the company you keep shapes your character. If those around you thrive on gossip, complaints, or criticism, they subtly influence your thoughts and actions. Letting go of such influences is not an act of judgment, but of prioritizing your peace. Letting go of excessive worry is equally vital. While caution and planning are essential, chronic worry traps you in a cycle of fear, pulling you away from meaningful action. The Stoics emphasized focusing only on what you can control and releasing concerns over what lies beyond it. Worrying about outcomes, opinions, or hypothetical scenarios wastes energy and sows anxiety. Quietly releasing these mental burdens creates room for clarity and purpose. Another silent thief of peace is clutter, not just physical, but mental and emotional. Unnecessary possessions, unresolved conflicts, or lingering regrets weigh heavily, often without notice. Seneca advised simplifying life, not as an aesthetic choice, but as a path to freedom. Each item you discard, each grievance you resolve, and each regret you release lifts a weight you may not have realized you were carrying. Overcommitting is another habit that quietly drains you. Saying yes to every request, invitation, or responsibility might feel noble, but it stretches your energy thin and dilutes your ability to focus on what truly matters. The Stoics valued boundaries, understanding that a focused mind requires a balanced life. By quietly stepping back from commitments that don't align with your values, you regain control over your time and energy. Comparisons are a subtle but powerful source of discontent, whether through social media, workplace dynamics, or personal relationships. Constantly measuring your progress against others distorts your perspective. The Stoics taught that true fulfillment comes from aligning with your own principles, not chasing external validation. Letting go of the need to compare allows you to appreciate your unique journey and focus on personal growth. The desire for approval is another chain that binds the mind. Seeking validation from others often leads to choices that betray your values or priorities. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about the futility of worrying over others' opinions, reminding himself that most judgments are fleeting and uninformed. Quietly stepping away from the need to please frees you to live authentically and with purpose. Unrealistic expectations, whether of yourself or others, often create unnecessary tension. Holding yourself to impossible standards or expecting perfection from those around you sets the stage for frustration. The Stoics emphasized progress over perfection, urging acceptance of human limitations. Quietly releasing these expectations fosters a kinder relationship with yourself and those in your life. Letting go of grudges is another transformative act. Carrying resentment toward others, even silently, consumes emotional energy and keeps you tethered to the past. Seneca advised focusing on forgiveness, not as a favor to others, but as a liberation for yourself. By quietly releasing anger, you create space for peace and growth, unburdened by old wounds. Fear of failure often lurks in the background, subtly influencing decisions and stifling growth. The Stoics viewed failure not as a source of shame, but as an inevitable step in the process of learning and improvement. Letting go of this fear doesn't mean seeking failure, but embracing it as a natural part of progress. Quietly releasing this fear encourages boldness and resilience in pursuing your goals. Lastly, the need for constant distraction is a habit that quietly robs you of presence and focus. Whether through technology, busyness, or mindless activities, avoiding stillness often masks deeper anxieties. The Stoics valued moments of solitude and reflection, understanding that clarity and strength emerge from within. By quietly eliminating the distractions that fill your days, you create space for meaningful thought and purposeful action. Each of these eliminations is an act of self-respect and growth. They are not grand gestures, but quiet, deliberate choices that align your life with your values and intentions. As you let go of what no longer serves you, you create room for clarity, resilience, and fulfillment, embodying the Stoic belief that less is often more when it comes to cultivating peace and purpose. As unnecessary burdens are lifted and distractions eliminated, what remains is clarity, a clearer view of the choices made, the paths taken, and the lessons learned along the way. But within this clarity often lies regret, a whisper reminding you of things left undone, words unspoken, or values compromised. The Stoics taught that while the past cannot be changed, it holds the wisdom needed to guide the future. Lessons learned too late carry regret, but they also carry the seeds of growth, shaping a life lived with intention and depth. Regret begins as a weight, often tied to missed opportunities. It could be the time spent chasing approval, pursuing status, or avoiding risk out of fear. The Stoics believed that regret is born from choices misaligned with values. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on how fleeting life is, emphasizing the importance of living authentically, guided by principles rather than external pressures. To live otherwise is to sow the seeds of regret. Yet, these moments of reflection are not meant to condemn, but to illuminate a better way forward. One lesson often learned too late is the value of time. Seneca wrote extensively about how people guard their wealth but squander their time, often failing to recognize its true worth until it is nearly gone. Hours spent on trivial matters or unimportant pursuits cannot be reclaimed, and this realization often comes with regret. Yet, the Stoics saw this awareness as an opportunity to change, to prioritize the meaningful over the mundane, and to live with a greater sense of urgency and purpose. Another poignant lesson is the importance of relationships. Time spent in conflict, neglecting loved ones, or withholding forgiveness often weighs heavily in retrospect. Seneca emphasized the power of kindness and connection, urging a focus on building rather than breaking bonds. Regret in relationships often stems from valuing pride over connection or failing to express gratitude and love. While the past cannot be undone, the present offers endless opportunities to rebuild, repair, and cherish those connections. The cost of inaction is another regret that surfaces over time. Fear of failure or judgment often leads to opportunities missed, dreams deferred, and potential left unexplored. The Stoics viewed action as essential, reminding themselves that hesitation serves no purpose. Marcus Aurelius wrote that life's essence lies in action, urging himself to do what must be done without delay. Regret over inaction is a call to step boldly into the present, to take the risks once avoided, and to embrace the growth that comes from trying, even if it leads to failure. Failing to set boundaries is another common source of regret. Time and energy given away too freely, often at the expense of one's well-being, leads to feelings of depletion and resentment. The Stoics valued self-respect and integrity, recognizing that saying no is sometimes the most respectful choice for both yourself and others. Regret over weak boundaries teaches the importance of protecting your time and energy to live a life that aligns with your values. The neglect of health, both physical and mental, is another lesson often learned too late. Years of overwork, poor habits, or ignoring signs of burnout eventually take their toll. The Stoics emphasized balance and moderation, understanding that a healthy body and mind are essential for fulfilling life's purpose. Regret over health is a reminder to treat your well-being as a priority, nurturing it with the same care and respect given to other aspects of life. The pursuit of external validation often becomes a source of regret. Time spent chasing approval, success, or material wealth often comes at the expense of inner peace and authenticity. The Stoics warned against becoming a slave to the opinions of others, emphasizing that true contentment comes from living according to your own values. Regret over misplaced priorities teaches the importance of looking inward for fulfillment rather than outward for validation. Another regret that often emerges is the failure to fully embrace the present. Anxiety about the future or preoccupation with the past robs the present moment of its richness. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself to live now, emphasizing that the present is the only time that truly belongs to you. Regret over lost moments teaches the value of presence, urging you to savor life's simple joys and engage fully with the here and now. Missed opportunities for gratitude often lead to regret. Taking people, experiences, or even small blessings for granted becomes painfully evident in hindsight. Seneca wrote about the importance of appreciating life's gifts, no matter how modest, as they are the foundation of contentment. Regret over unexpressed gratitude is a lesson in mindfulness, reminding you to notice and acknowledge the beauty in your life before it slips away. The neglect of self-expression is another source of regret. Failing to speak your truth, share your creativity, or pursue your passions often leaves a sense of emptiness. The Stoics believed in living authentically, unburdened by the fear of judgment or failure. Regret over stifled self-expression is a call to embrace your voice and passions fully, creating a life that reflects who you are at your core. The regret of not forgiving, whether yourself or others, carries a heavy weight. Holding on to anger or self-criticism binds you to the past, preventing growth and healing. The Stoics viewed forgiveness as an act of liberation, releasing you from the chains of resentment. Regret over unforgiveness teaches the importance of letting go, creating space for compassion, understanding, and peace. As these lessons are examined, regret transforms from a source of sorrow into a catalyst for change. The Stoics taught that while the past cannot be undone, it can inform a better future. Each regret carries a message, a reminder of what truly matters, and an opportunity to realign your life with your values. By reflecting on these lessons and acting on their wisdom, you create a life with fewer regrets and greater fulfillment. Through this process, the weight of what is lost gives way to the richness of what remains and the possibilities that lie ahead. Regret, while heavy, can spark transformation, reminding you to realign with what truly matters. From the lessons of the past, you shape the habits of the present. Each day presents a fresh opportunity to start anew, to live deliberately, and to align your actions with your values. For the Stoics, the morning was not just a transition from night to day, it was a sacred period to prepare the mind and heart for whatever life might bring. What you do in the early hours lays the foundation for a life of purpose and resilience. Morning rituals are not about rigid routines, but intentional practices that anchor your mind and spirit. The Stoics approach the start of each day as an opportunity to reflect, prepare, and connect with their inner strength. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, often used the morning to set his mental framework, anticipating the challenges ahead and resolving to face them with virtue. This quiet preparation allowed him to approach life's unpredictability with calm and clarity. The practice of reflection is a cornerstone of a Stoic morning. Before the rush of the day begins, take time to consider your intentions and priorities. This is not merely a to-do list, but a chance to align your actions with your principles. The Stoics believed that purposeful reflection fosters clarity, helping you focus on what truly matters. It also reduces the anxiety that comes from feeling pulled in multiple directions, as it reminds you of your central aim. Another powerful morning practice is acknowledging gratitude. While the day has yet to unfold, reflecting on what you already have grounds you in abundance rather than lack. Seneca wrote about the importance of appreciating life's simple gifts, even as you strive for more. Gratitude shifts your mindset, setting a tone of positivity and reducing the grip of discontent or fear. It also fosters resilience, as you are reminded of the resources and strengths you possess. Setting an intention for how you will approach challenges is another valuable practice. The Stoics understood that the day would not be free of obstacles, but they viewed these as opportunities to exercise virtue. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the people he might encounter, those who might frustrate or oppose him, and resolved to respond with patience and understanding. By mentally preparing for difficulties, you reduce their emotional impact and ensure that your reactions are guided by principles rather than impulse. Physical movement is another essential element of a Stoic morning. While the Stoics valued the mind, they also understood the importance of caring for the body. Physical activity, whether through exercise, stretching, or even a simple walk, energizes you and clears mental fog. It also reminds you of the interconnectedness of body and mind, reinforcing the need to care for both as part of a balanced life. Mindful breathing or meditation serves as a grounding practice that helps you begin the day with focus. Anxiety often arises from thinking too far ahead, but mindful breathing centers you in the present. The Stoics valued the power of a calm mind, and practices like deep breathing help cultivate this calm. They also prepare you to face the unexpected with composure, as you learn to steady yourself even amidst uncertainty. Engaging with wisdom is another morning habit that fuels the Stoic spirit. Whether through reading, listening, or reflecting on philosophical texts, this practice feeds the mind with thoughts that inspire and guide. Seneca emphasized the importance of continual learning, seeing each day as an opportunity to deepen understanding. Starting the day with wisdom sets a thoughtful tone and provides tools for navigating the complexities of life. The act of planning is another critical component. While reflection focuses on aligning with values, planning ensures that your actions are purposeful. A well-structured day reduces decision fatigue and keeps you focused on what matters. The Stoics believed in living intentionally, and a thoughtful plan helps you avoid being carried away by distractions or reactive impulses. Engaging in acts of kindness or service is a powerful way to start the day. The Stoics believed in the interconnectedness of humanity and saw contributing to others as a vital part of a virtuous life. Whether through a kind word, a supportive gesture, or even silent goodwill, starting the day with generosity creates a sense of purpose and connection. The practice of detachment is an essential morning ritual. Before the day begins, remind yourself to let go of the need to control everything. The Stoics emphasized focusing on effort rather than outcome, understanding that much of life is beyond your control. By setting this mindset in the morning, you approach the day with freedom and flexibility, reducing the stress that comes from clinging to specific expectations. Each of these practices is a thread that weaves together a Stoic morning, creating a strong foundation for the day ahead. They are not about perfection, but about presence, reminding you to live intentionally and with purpose. As you carry these rituals into your day, you strengthen your ability to face challenges with grace, embrace opportunities with courage, and live each moment with clarity and meaning. As the morning rituals anchor your mind in clarity and purpose, the wisdom carried into the rest of the day shapes how you approach life's challenges. From fleeting frustrations to deeper dilemmas, Stoic philosophy offers lessons that not only guide but empower you. These insights, grounded in centuries of reflection and practice, hold the potential to resolve many of the struggles that often feel overwhelming. They are not rules imposed from the outside, but truths discovered through thoughtful living, keys to unlocking peace, strength, and a sense of control. One of the most transformative lessons the Stoics emphasized is the power of focusing on what you can control. Many problems in life arise from wrestling with what lies beyond your influence, whether it's someone else's opinion, an unexpected setback, or a past mistake. Fighting against the uncontrollable leads only to frustration. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that true freedom lies in directing attention to what can be shaped: your actions, your choices, and your mindset. This shift not only reduces anxiety, but also channels your energy into productive action. Another vital lesson is the importance of living in alignment with your values. Much of life's dissatisfaction stems from choices that stray from your core principles. The Stoics believed that a virtuous life, a life lived with honesty, courage, and kindness, creates a foundation for enduring peace. When you act according to your values, even in the face of difficulty, you build self-respect and confidence, minimizing internal conflict and regret. The art of acceptance is another Stoic teaching that resolves much inner turmoil. Life is full of uncertainties, and resistance to what is often amplifies suffering. Acceptance does not mean passive resignation. Rather, it involves facing reality as it is and responding with intention. Seneca wrote about the futility of lamenting what cannot be changed, urging instead a focus on what can be done within the present moment. Acceptance brings clarity and frees you from the weight of futile resistance. Perspective is a powerful tool the Stoics use to navigate challenges. Many problems feel insurmountable because they are viewed in isolation, magnified by emotion. By taking a broader perspective, you see difficulties as temporary and often smaller than they initially appeared. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself of the vastness of time and the insignificance of most troubles in the grand scheme of life. This lesson teaches you to approach challenges with a calmer, more grounded mindset. Gratitude is a Stoic practice that shifts focus from lack to abundance. Many struggles arise from dwelling on what is missing or what could be better. Gratitude redirects attention to what is present and valuable, creating a sense of contentment and strength. Seneca encouraged finding joy in life's simple blessings, reminding you that wealth is not in possessions, but in perspective. This practice reduces dissatisfaction and fosters resilience. Another lesson is the recognition of impermanence. Much of life's pain comes from clinging to what is transient, whether it's relationships, achievements, or material possessions. The Stoics saw change as a natural part of existence, encouraging acceptance rather than resistance. By embracing impermanence, you free yourself from the fear of loss and appreciate the beauty of the present. This perspective helps you navigate transitions with grace and reduces the grip of attachment. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of self-discipline. Many problems arise from impulses that lead to regret, speaking in anger, indulging in excess, or procrastinating on important tasks. Self-discipline involves guiding your actions with reason rather than emotion, creating a life of intentionality and control. Epictetus often spoke of training the mind like an athlete trains the body, emphasizing that discipline strengthens your ability to face challenges and make choices aligned with your goals. Learning from failure is another critical Stoic lesson. Mistakes are inevitable, but they are not the end. The Stoics viewed failure as an opportunity for growth, a teacher that reveals what needs improvement. Seneca often reflected on his own missteps, using them as stepping stones for progress. By reframing failure as part of the journey, you reduce fear and open yourself to new possibilities. The value of simplicity is another insight the Stoics held dear. Many problems stem from overcomplication, too many commitments, possessions, or desires. Simplifying life allows you to focus on what truly matters, reducing stress and creating a sense of clarity. Marcus Aurelius often spoke of cutting away the unnecessary, both in thought and action, to reveal the essence of what is important. The Stoics also taught the importance of connection and community. Life's challenges often feel heavier when faced alone. Building relationships rooted in trust and mutual support provides strength and perspective. Seneca emphasized the value of friendship, seeing it as a source of encouragement and shared wisdom. This lesson reminds you that leaning on others and contributing to their well-being creates a foundation for resilience and joy. Resilience itself is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Problems often seem insurmountable when viewed through the lens of immediate pain or difficulty. The Stoics believed in enduring with patience, knowing that hardship is often temporary and transformative. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself that challenges are opportunities to practice virtues such as courage, patience, and perseverance. This mindset transforms adversity into a tool for growth. The lesson of letting go is another transformative insight. Many problems persist because of an unwillingness to release what no longer serves you, grudges, regrets, or unrealistic expectations. Letting go is not about forgetting, but about freeing yourself from the weight of what cannot be changed. Epictetus often spoke of detachment, not as indifference but as wisdom, understanding that peace comes from releasing what is beyond your control. The practice of reflection is a habit that resolves many struggles before they even arise. The Stoics believed in regularly examining thoughts and actions, identifying where they aligned with values and where they strayed. This practice creates self-awareness and guides you toward better decisions, reducing the chaos that comes from reactive living. By reflecting on your choices, you learn from them, fostering growth and reducing future regrets. Each of these lessons weaves together a framework for addressing life's challenges with wisdom and strength. They are not quick fixes, but enduring practices that reshape how you approach problems. As you integrate these teachings, you create a life rooted in clarity, resilience, and purpose, solving not just today's struggles, but also building the foundation for a fulfilling future. Having explored the life lessons that anchor you in wisdom and resilience, there arises another profound question. How do you handle those who seek to harm, undermine, or provoke you? Conflict often stirs emotions, clouds judgment, and leads to unnecessary strife. Yet, the Stoics approached enemies not with vengeance, but with mastery, turning opposition into an opportunity for strength, clarity, and resolution without engaging in the chaos of direct confrontation. An enemy's power often lies in their ability to unsettle you. The first step to disarming this influence is mastering your response. The Stoics emphasized that no one can truly harm your inner peace unless you grant them access to your emotions. When provoked, resist the impulse to react with anger or frustration. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that it is not events or people that disturb you, but your judgment of them. By cultivating composure, you deny your enemy the satisfaction of controlling your mind. Another way to neutralize opposition is through understanding. The Stoics believed in approaching adversaries with curiosity rather than animosity. Seneca often reflected on the motivations of others, recognizing that many harmful actions stem from ignorance, fear, or misunderstanding. When you seek to understand rather than retaliate, you strip the conflict of its fuel and often find pathways to resolution that would have otherwise remained hidden. Silence is another powerful tool. In the face of provocation, choosing not to engage denies your enemy the reaction they seek. The Stoics valued restraint, understanding that words spoken in anger often escalate conflict. By remaining silent or responding with calm, you maintain control over the narrative and refuse to be drawn into unnecessary disputes. This silence is not weakness, but strength, demonstrating mastery over your emotions and actions. Living with integrity is another way to dissolve the power of an enemy. When your actions are guided by virtue, criticism and hostility lose their impact. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of focusing on your own character rather than the opinions of others. By staying true to your principles, you create a shield of authenticity that no external force can penetrate. This consistency not only protects your peace, but also disarms those who seek to undermine you. Turning an enemy into an ally is perhaps the most profound way to neutralize conflict. The Stoics believed in seeking common ground and fostering connection, even with those who oppose you. Seneca often emphasized the value of kindness, seeing it as a way to transform hostility into understanding. By extending empathy or offering support, you shift the dynamic from confrontation to collaboration, often surprising your adversary and dissolving the basis of their animosity. Patience is another tactic that renders enemies powerless. Many conflicts arise from a desire for immediate resolution or revenge. The Stoics valued patience as a virtue that allows time to reveal truths and dissolve tensions naturally. By waiting and observing, you often find that the intensity of conflict fades on its own, leaving space for clarity and resolution without the need for direct action. Focusing on self-improvement is a way to rise above conflict entirely. When you channel your energy into growing stronger, wiser, and more resilient, you leave little room for the distractions of enmity. The Stoics taught that the best revenge is not retaliation, but living well. By thriving in the face of opposition, you render their efforts insignificant, turning their hostility into a reminder of your own strength and progress. Forgiveness, though challenging, is another powerful way to disarm an enemy. Holding on to anger or resentment only binds you to the conflict, while forgiveness frees you from its grip. The Stoics viewed forgiveness not as a favor to the other person, but as an act of liberation for yourself. By releasing the burden of animosity, you reclaim your peace and deny your enemy any hold over your emotions. Detachment from outcomes ensures that conflict does not consume you. The Stoics emphasized focusing on effort rather than result, understanding that much of life lies beyond your control. When dealing with an adversary, detach from the need to win or prove a point. This mindset allows you to act with integrity and calm, regardless of the other person's behavior. In doing so, you maintain your dignity and preserve your inner strength. Each of these approaches reflects the Stoic belief that power lies not in domination, but in mastery of yourself, your emotions, and your actions. By addressing conflict with wisdom rather than aggression, you transform enemies into opportunities for growth and demonstrate the profound strength that comes from living according to your values. Through this lens, adversity becomes a teacher, guiding you toward greater peace, resilience, and understanding. As conflicts are resolved with wisdom and restraint, the question arises, how do you fortify yourself so that life's challenges, whether external or internal, cannot shake your foundation? The Stoics knew that true strength is not about dominating others, but about mastering yourself. Mental resilience, the ability to remain steady in the face of adversity, does not happen by accident. It is cultivated through deliberate habits that build unshakable inner fortitude. The foundation of mental strength lies in self-awareness. Understanding your thoughts, emotions, and reactions is the first step to gaining control over them. The Stoics emphasized reflective practices, urging you to examine what drives your fears, desires, and frustrations. When you recognize these triggers, you are no longer a slave to them. Instead, you gain the power to choose how to respond. This awareness is not about judgment, but observation, creating space for clarity and deliberate action. Another critical habit is embracing discomfort. The Stoics practiced voluntary hardship, choosing small, controlled challenges to build resilience, whether fasting, exposing themselves to cold, or abstaining from luxury. They understood that facing manageable discomfort strengthens your ability to endure larger trials. This habit rewires your perspective, teaching you that discomfort is temporary and within your capacity to handle. By willingly stepping outside of your comfort zone, you reduce the fear of hardship and increase your tolerance for life's inevitable difficulties. Cultivating discipline is another cornerstone of mental strength. Discipline is not about restriction, but about aligning your actions with your values. The Stoics believed that self-mastery comes from consistently choosing what is right over what is easy. This habit strengthens your resolve, ensuring that momentary impulses or external pressures do not derail you. Each time you exercise discipline, whether in your work, health, or relationships, you reinforce your inner strength and build trust in your ability to follow through. Focusing on the present moment is a practice that anchors your mind. Anxiety often arises from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. The Stoics taught that the present is the only time you truly possess. By engaging fully with the now, you reduce mental clutter and channel your energy into what you can influence. This habit fosters clarity, as it reminds you that each moment holds the potential for action, growth, or peace. The practice of gratitude reinforces mental resilience by shifting your focus from lack to abundance. Gratitude teaches you to appreciate what you have rather than dwelling on what you lack. It creates a mindset of contentment, reducing the pull of envy, dissatisfaction, or regret. The Stoics believed that recognizing the good in your life builds emotional strength, as it reminds you that even amidst challenges, there is much to be thankful for. Letting go of what you cannot control is another habit that frees your mind from unnecessary burdens. The Stoics emphasized the dichotomy of control, focusing only on what lies within your influence and releasing concern over the rest. This mindset eliminates wasted energy on outcomes, opinions, or events that cannot be changed. By practicing this habit, you create mental space for productive thought and reduce the stress of trying to manage the uncontrollable. Engaging in daily reflection is a habit that sharpens your mental clarity. Taking time each day to review your actions, decisions, and thoughts helps you identify where you are aligned with your values and where you can improve. This practice is not about self-criticism, but about growth, offering a chance to learn from your experiences. The Stoics saw reflection as a way to refine character and strengthen resolve, ensuring that each day builds upon the last. Nurturing meaningful relationships is another habit that fortifies your mind. The Stoics valued connection, understanding that mutual support and shared wisdom strengthen resilience. Surrounding yourself with individuals who inspire, challenge, and uplift you creates an environment of encouragement and growth. These connections provide perspective during difficult times, reminding you that you are not alone in your struggles. Each of these habits forms a piece of the puzzle that is mental strength. They are not quick fixes, but enduring practices that shape how you approach life. As you integrate them into your daily routine, you create a foundation of resilience, clarity, and peace, equipping yourself to face whatever comes with unwavering fortitude. Through these habits, the mind becomes a fortress, steady, focused, and unshakable. As unbreakable mental strength becomes a foundation for navigating life, the next step is ensuring that your actions align with what truly matters. Strength without wisdom can lead to paths filled with regret, but the Stoic way of living offers clarity on how to minimize these avoidable pitfalls. By following principles rooted in purpose, self-awareness, and discipline, you can shape a life free from the weight of regrets that often arise from distraction, fear, or misplaced priorities. One of the most significant regrets people face is failing to live authentically. The pressure to conform to societal expectations or meet the approval of others often leads to choices that betray one's values. The Stoics taught that true freedom lies in living according to your principles, unshaken by the opinions of others. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself frequently that the judgments of others are fleeting and often uninformed. By staying true to yourself, you ensure that your decisions reflect who you are, reducing the regret of living a life that feels inauthentic. Another common regret is neglecting to set boundaries. Many people give away their time and energy too freely, often at the expense of their well-being. The Stoics valued the practice of saying no to what does not align with your goals or values. By protecting your time and focusing on what truly matters, you create a life of intention rather than obligation. This habit ensures that you do not look back wishing you had prioritized your needs and aspirations. Failing to appreciate the present moment is another regret that often surfaces later in life. The Stoics emphasized the importance of living fully in the now, understanding that the present is the only time you truly possess. Anxiety about the future or dwelling on the past robs you of the richness of today. By engaging with the present, whether through gratitude, mindfulness, or meaningful action, you avoid the sorrow of realizing you let moments slip away unnoticed. The regret of chasing material possessions over meaningful experiences is another trap the Stoics sought to avoid. Wealth and status may provide temporary satisfaction, but they often come at the cost of deeper fulfillment. Seneca wrote about the simplicity of true happiness, found in relationships, purpose, and inner peace, rather than external acquisitions. By prioritizing what holds lasting value, you sidestep the emptiness that can accompany the pursuit of material success. Procrastination is a regret that weighs heavily on many. Delaying important decisions or avoiding necessary actions often leads to missed opportunities and unfulfilled potential. The Stoics urged immediate action on what is within your control, understanding that hesitation only compounds difficulties. By adopting this mindset, you avoid the burden of looking back and wishing you had acted when the moment was right. Another regret that often emerges is neglecting relationships. The demands of work, ambition, or personal distractions can lead to strained or lost connections. The Stoics valued the interconnectedness of humanity, urging the cultivation of relationships rooted in kindness and mutual support. By prioritizing time with loved ones and mending broken bonds, you avoid the heartache of realizing you neglected what truly mattered. The regret of failing to pursue personal growth is another lesson the Stoics addressed. Life's challenges often provide opportunities to learn, adapt, and strengthen character, yet fear of failure or discomfort can hold you back. The Stoics viewed obstacles as teachers, essential for growth and resilience. By embracing these opportunities and committing to self-improvement, you reduce the regret of untapped potential. Holding on to grudges is a regret that burdens the mind and heart. Resentment, whether toward others or yourself, creates an emotional weight that prevents peace. The Stoics emphasized forgiveness as a way to free yourself from this burden. Seneca often reflected on the futility of anger, urging a focus on understanding and letting go. By practicing forgiveness, you avoid the sorrow of realizing you allowed bitterness to consume precious time. Another regret that arises is neglecting health, both physical and mental. The Stoics understood the importance of caring for the body and mind as tools for living a purposeful life. Overindulgence, neglect, or ignoring signs of distress often leads to consequences that overshadow later years. By embracing moderation and prioritizing well-being, you ensure that you have the strength and clarity to fully engage with life. Failing to express gratitude is a regret that often surfaces too late. Taking people, moments, or blessings for granted creates missed opportunities for connection and appreciation. The Stoics valued gratitude as a practice that enriches life and strengthens relationships. By acknowledging and expressing thankfulness regularly, you avoid the sorrow of realizing you left words of kindness unsaid. Each of these regrets reflects choices misaligned with values, distractions from what truly matters, or fears that hold you back. The Stoic way of living, rooted in purpose and awareness, provides a guide to navigating life with fewer regrets. By integrating these principles, you not only minimize sorrow, but also create a life of clarity, fulfillment, and peace, one built on a foundation of intentionality and strength. Through these choices, you shape a life where each day contributes to a legacy of purpose rather than regret. Avoiding regrets leads to a life aligned with purpose, but the path to peace often demands one more critical step: releasing the need to control what cannot be controlled. The Stoics understood that much of the tension and anxiety in life comes not from external events, but from the desire to dominate outcomes, people, or circumstances beyond your influence. By letting go of this futile pursuit, you unlock a life of serenity, resilience, and clarity. The starting point for this transformation is accepting the natural flow of life. The Stoics often reflected on the unpredictability of existence, recognizing that attempting to mold every event to your will is not only exhausting, but also impossible. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that the universe operates in its own way, and resisting this order leads to frustration. When you accept the nature of change, you create space for peace, as you are no longer fighting against the inevitable. Letting go of control begins with focusing on your internal world. The Stoics emphasized that while you cannot dictate the actions of others or the unfolding of events, you have full authority over your own thoughts, emotions, and decisions. By shifting your energy inward, you reclaim power that is often wasted on external struggles. This practice not only reduces anxiety, but also strengthens your ability to respond to challenges with wisdom and composure. Releasing control also involves cultivating trust in yourself, in others, and in the larger order of life. The Stoics viewed trust not as blind faith, but as confidence in your ability to adapt and grow. When you trust that you can navigate whatever comes, the need to preemptively control every situation diminishes. This trust is built through experience and reflection, reinforcing your resilience and reducing fear of the unknown. Another step in letting go is accepting impermanence. The Stoics frequently meditated on the transient nature of all things, from material possessions to relationships and even life itself. Clinging to what cannot be held forever only deepens sorrow when it inevitably changes. By embracing impermanence, you free yourself from the pain of resistance and instead find joy in the present moment. Letting go of control also means releasing attachment to outcomes. Anxiety often arises from investing your happiness or self-worth in specific results. The Stoics urged focusing on effort rather than success, reminding themselves that while you can act with integrity and diligence, the final result is often beyond your grasp. This perspective fosters peace, as you no longer tie your contentment to circumstances you cannot dictate. The practice of gratitude further supports this process. When you focus on what you already have rather than what you wish to control, you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude teaches you to appreciate life as it is, rather than constantly striving to make it something else. This acceptance creates a foundation for lasting peace, as it aligns your perspective with the reality of the present. Another key element is embracing flexibility. The Stoics valued adaptability, understanding that rigid expectations often lead to disappointment. When you approach life with openness, you are better able to adjust to unexpected changes without losing your balance. This flexibility does not mean passivity, but rather a willingness to work with life's flow rather than against it. Forgiveness is a profound way to release control over the past. Holding on to resentment or anger ties you to events or people you cannot change. The Stoics saw forgiveness as a way to free yourself from these bonds, allowing you to move forward unburdened. This act is not about excusing harm, but about choosing peace over the need for retribution. Another critical practice is reframing challenges as opportunities. The Stoics believed that adversity is a natural part of life, and attempting to avoid it only amplifies fear and frustration. By viewing challenges as chances to grow or demonstrate virtue, you let go of the need to control every aspect of your journey. This mindset not only reduces stress, but also fosters resilience and confidence. Letting go of control involves embracing simplicity. The Stoics often spoke of cutting away the unnecessary, possessions, distractions, or ambitions that complicate life and fuel the need for dominance. By simplifying your focus and actions, you create clarity and reduce the mental clutter that often accompanies the desire for control. Each of these practices builds on the Stoic understanding that peace comes not from mastering the external world, but from mastering your response to it. By letting go of control, you do not relinquish your power, but instead direct it inward, where it can create lasting calm and purpose. In this release, you find freedom, not from life's challenges, but from the struggle against them. This freedom allows you to live with clarity, strength, and unwavering peace. Letting go of control creates a powerful sense of peace, but sustaining that peace requires vigilance. Life often brings encounters with negativity, whether through difficult individuals or draining environments. The Stoics understood that while you cannot always avoid these interactions, you can protect your inner tranquility by adopting intentional practices. Maintaining peace is not about isolation, but about cultivating strength, clarity, and resilience in the face of external challenges. The first way to protect your peace is by mastering your reactions. Negative people often thrive on provoking responses, whether through anger, frustration, or defensiveness. The Stoics taught that your reaction is always within your control, even when the situation is not. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that others' behavior is their responsibility, but how he chose to respond was his. By remaining calm and composed, you deny negativity the power to disrupt your inner balance. Establishing firm boundaries is essential for safeguarding your mental and emotional space. Without boundaries, you leave yourself vulnerable to being overwhelmed by the demands or attitudes of others. The Stoics valued self-respect, understanding that saying no is not selfish, but necessary for maintaining harmony. Clear boundaries create a structure that protects your energy, allowing you to focus on what aligns with your values and goals. Practicing detachment from others' opinions is another way to avoid being affected by negativity. Criticism, judgment, or gossip can easily erode your peace if you internalize it. The Stoics emphasized focusing on your own character rather than being swayed by the thoughts of others. Epictetus advised treating others' words as external noise, something that only has meaning if you give it weight. By detaching from opinions that do not serve you, you free yourself from unnecessary mental strain. Limiting exposure to toxic individuals is another protective measure. While some interactions are unavoidable, many are not. The Stoics believed in choosing companions wisely, surrounding themselves with those who uplifted rather than drained them. Seneca wrote about the importance of seeking relationships rooted in mutual respect and virtue. By reducing time spent with those who perpetuate negativity, you create space for more positive and fulfilling connections. Engaging in self-reflection helps fortify your peace against negativity. The Stoics encouraged regularly examining your thoughts and actions to ensure they align with your values. When faced with negativity, reflecting on your own role in the interaction can provide clarity and prevent reactive patterns. This practice also helps you identify areas where you may be inadvertently contributing to the negativity, allowing you to make adjustments and grow. Maintaining gratitude is a powerful counterbalance to negativity. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking or troubling to what is abundant and fulfilling. The Stoics believed that recognizing life's blessings creates a mindset of resilience and contentment. When you cultivate gratitude, the influence of negativity diminishes, as your perspective remains anchored in appreciation rather than discontent. Choosing kindness as a response to negativity is another Stoic principle that protects your peace. Kindness disarms hostility and fosters connection, even in challenging situations. Seneca wrote about the power of extending goodwill, not as a weakness, but as a demonstration of inner strength. By responding with patience and understanding, you neutralize negativity and prevent it from taking root in your mind. Protecting your peace also involves simplifying your environment. Clutter, noise, and distractions contribute to mental strain and amplify the impact of external negativity. The Stoics valued simplicity, recognizing that a clear and organized space reflects and supports a clear and focused mind. By reducing physical and emotional clutter, you create a sanctuary where peace can thrive. Practicing mindfulness reinforces your ability to remain steady in the face of negativity. Mindfulness anchors you in the present, reducing the influence of past grievances or future anxieties. The Stoics believed that staying rooted in the now allows you to respond to challenges with clarity and intention. This habit strengthens your resilience, ensuring that external negativity does not disrupt your inner calm. Each of these practices reflects the Stoic understanding that peace is not something granted by the absence of challenges, but something cultivated through deliberate action. By mastering your reactions, setting boundaries, and fostering gratitude, you create a foundation of strength and clarity that shields you from the influence of negativity. Through these choices, you protect not just your peace, but also your ability to live with purpose and fulfillment. Shielding your peace from negativity strengthens your inner world, but within that space, another challenge often arises: self-doubt. The quiet voice that questions your abilities, worth, or direction can be as disruptive as any external negativity. The Stoics understood that self-doubt is not a permanent condition, but a mental pattern that can be reshaped. Breaking free from it is not about ignoring uncertainty, but about building confidence through deliberate practices. The first step is to recognize the source of self-doubt. The Stoics emphasized that many of our uncertainties stem from comparing ourselves to others or relying too heavily on external validation. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the futility of seeking approval from others, reminding himself that true worth is found within. By identifying where your self-doubt originates, whether from unrealistic standards or past failures, you begin to dismantle its power over you. Focusing on your actions rather than outcomes is another powerful way to overcome self-doubt. The Stoics believed that while you cannot control results, you can control your effort and intention. This mindset shifts your attention from worrying about whether you will succeed to ensuring that you give your best. By committing to purposeful action, you reduce the paralysis that often comes with doubt, replacing it with a sense of progress and empowerment. Self-reflection is a critical practice in addressing self-doubt. The Stoics regularly examined their thoughts and behaviors, identifying where they aligned with their values and where they needed improvement. This habit fosters self-awareness, helping you separate constructive self-criticism from unhelpful doubt. Reflection also allows you to recognize patterns of negative thinking and replace them with thoughts that build confidence and clarity. Reframing failure as a teacher rather than an enemy is another essential practice. The Stoics viewed mistakes not as evidence of inadequacy, but as opportunities for growth. Seneca often reflected on his own missteps, using them as a source of wisdom. When you see failure as part of the learning process, you remove the fear that fuels self-doubt. This perspective encourages you to take risks and embrace challenges with a mindset of curiosity rather than apprehension. Gratitude plays a significant role in breaking free from self-doubt. When you focus on your strengths, achievements, and the support around you, you build a foundation of confidence. The Stoics believed that recognizing what you have fosters resilience and reduces feelings of inadequacy. Gratitude reminds you of your progress and the resources you already possess, shifting your mindset from lack to abundance. Practicing self-compassion is another transformative approach. The Stoics emphasized the importance of treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would extend to others. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the shared struggles of humanity, reminding himself to approach his flaws with patience. By acknowledging your imperfections without judgment, you create a supportive inner environment that counteracts self-doubt. Focusing on your purpose rather than perfection also helps dissolve self-doubt. The Stoics valued intentional living, understanding that striving for excellence does not require flawlessness. When you connect with your deeper goals and values, the fear of making mistakes diminishes. This alignment ensures that your actions are guided by meaning rather than fear, allowing you to move forward with confidence. Building resilience through small victories is a practical way to overcome self-doubt. The Stoics believed in the power of consistent effort, recognizing that progress often comes in incremental steps. Each small achievement reinforces your belief in your abilities, creating momentum that carries you through larger challenges. By celebrating these milestones, no matter how modest, you cultivate a sense of capability and strength. Detaching from negative self-talk is another critical practice. The Stoics understood that thoughts are not inherently true. They are interpretations that can be challenged and reshaped. Epictetus advised questioning the validity of unhelpful beliefs, replacing them with thoughts rooted in reason and evidence. This habit allows you to separate yourself from the narrative of self-doubt, reclaiming control over your inner dialogue. By integrating these practices, you build a framework for breaking free from self-doubt and stepping into a life of confidence and clarity. The Stoic way teaches that doubt is not a fixed state, but a transient obstacle that can be transformed through intentional effort. With each step forward, you strengthen your ability to trust yourself and face life's challenges with unwavering resolve. This journey is not about eliminating uncertainty, but about learning to navigate it with courage and wisdom. Breaking free from self-doubt empowers you to approach life with clarity and confidence, but sustaining that freedom requires consistent practices that nurture inner calm and happiness. The Stoics knew that lasting contentment doesn't come from fleeting moments of success or external validation. It is cultivated through intentional daily rituals. These practices ground your mind, strengthen your resolve, and create a rhythm that promotes a peaceful, fulfilled life. The foundation of a happier life begins with a morning ritual of reflection. The Stoics valued starting the day with purposeful thought, setting intentions, and mentally preparing for challenges. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to anticipate difficult interactions and approach them with patience and understanding. This practice helps you navigate the day with grace, as you are mentally aligned with your values and ready for what lies ahead. Beginning each morning this way ensures your actions flow from clarity rather than reaction. Gratitude as a daily habit transforms your perspective, grounding you in abundance rather than lack. The Stoics understood that a grateful mindset builds resilience and diminishes discontent. Seneca spoke of appreciating what you have rather than longing for more, as this simple shift creates a sense of peace and satisfaction. Each day, acknowledging even small blessings helps redirect focus from challenges to opportunities, fostering a calm and optimistic outlook. Engaging in deliberate silence during the day is another powerful ritual. The Stoics believed that quieting external noise and internal chatter cultivates mental clarity. This silence need not be prolonged, but should be intentional, allowing you to step back from the rush of daily life and reconnect with your inner thoughts. In this space, you find perspective, sharpen your focus, and center yourself amidst the chaos of the world. Physical movement, whether through exercise or mindful walking, is essential for maintaining both mental and physical equilibrium. The Stoics valued the health of the body as a support for the mind, recognizing that movement clears mental fog and builds endurance. Whether a brisk walk or a structured workout, consistent physical activity energizes you and fosters discipline, creating a foundation for resilience and well-being. Practicing intentional detachment from material desires creates a sense of liberation. The Stoics viewed possessions as transient, urging moderation and the cultivation of contentment independent of external wealth. By periodically reflecting on what truly brings fulfillment, you align yourself with what matters most. This ritual not only reduces anxiety about acquiring or losing possessions, but also reinforces a life of purpose and simplicity. Mindful breathing is a practice the Stoics embraced to maintain calm and focus. Anxiety and overwhelm often stem from shallow or erratic breathing, but controlled, deliberate breaths anchor you in the present. This ritual requires no special tools or setting, making it accessible at any moment when stress arises. A steady rhythm of breath calms the nervous system, helping you regain composure and clarity. Acts of kindness, no matter how small, are another daily Stoic ritual that creates joy and strengthens connection. The Stoics believed in the interconnectedness of humanity, seeing service to others as a reflection of inner virtue. Whether offering a kind word, lending support, or simply listening without judgment, these actions elevate your spirit and reinforce the bonds of community. This practice reminds you that happiness often arises from giving rather than receiving. A midday pause for recalibration helps you stay aligned with your intentions. The Stoics recognized that distractions and unforeseen events can disrupt even the most thoughtful plans. Taking a moment to reassess your priorities during the day ensures that your actions remain purposeful. This habit not only increases productivity, but also preserves your peace, as you prevent the stress of feeling overwhelmed or off course. Evening reflection is one of the most powerful Stoic rituals, allowing you to review the day with honesty and compassion. Seneca advocated for this practice, urging a gentle examination of where you acted with integrity and where you could improve. This ritual fosters growth and self-awareness, helping you end the day with a clear conscience and a renewed commitment to living according to your values. The Stoics valued the practice of letting go as a daily exercise. Whether releasing the grip of frustration, disappointment, or unmet expectations, this ritual frees your mind from unnecessary burdens. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that life is fleeting and that clinging to grievances only wastes precious time. By letting go, you create space for peace and contentment, allowing each day to close with a sense of completion. These daily rituals are not rigid routines, but adaptable practices that integrate seamlessly into the flow of life. They provide a framework for navigating challenges, cultivating joy, and fostering a deep sense of calm. Through consistent application, they transform your days from scattered and reactive to deliberate and fulfilling, laying the foundation for a life of lasting happiness and tranquility. As daily rituals create a foundation for calm and clarity, there remains a quieter, often more persistent challenge to address: the voice of self-criticism. This inner dialogue, filled with doubts and harsh judgments, can be one of the most destructive forces within. Yet, the Stoics understood that self-criticism need not dominate your thoughts. By fostering self-compassion, you can transform that voice into one of encouragement, creating a space for growth and resilience instead of self-doubt. Self-compassion begins with recognizing that imperfection is a shared human experience. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that to err is not unique, but natural. This perspective dissolves the isolation of self-criticism, helping you see that mistakes do not define your worth. When you acknowledge that everyone stumbles, you shift from berating yourself to offering understanding, which creates a foundation for growth. The Stoics believed that thoughts are tools, not truths. Self-criticism often stems from distorted perceptions, believing that one failure negates your abilities or that one flaw overshadows your value. Epictetus urged examining these thoughts with reason, questioning their validity instead of accepting them as fact. By reframing your inner dialogue, you replace harsh judgments with balanced perspectives, reducing the intensity of self-doubt. Practicing patience with yourself is another cornerstone of self-compassion. The Stoics valued progress over perfection, recognizing that growth is a process marked by effort, not flawless execution. Seneca often reflected on his own missteps with a tone of curiosity rather than condemnation. Adopting this approach allows you to see mistakes as opportunities to learn rather than as proof of inadequacy. The practice of gratitude, a key Stoic principle, also helps silence the inner critic. Gratitude shifts your focus from perceived shortcomings to your strengths and achievements. When you regularly acknowledge what you have done well, you create a balanced view of yourself, counteracting the tendency to dwell on flaws. This perspective fosters confidence and a sense of self-worth, reducing the weight of negative self-talk. Another Stoic practice is cultivating humility, not as self-deprecation, but as an acknowledgement of your shared humanity. Humility allows you to see your mistakes in context, recognizing that they do not diminish your inherent value. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that greatness comes not from being without flaws, but from striving to improve despite them. This mindset helps you approach yourself with kindness, replacing self-criticism with a commitment to growth. Forgiveness, both toward others and yourself, is a profound act of self-compassion. Holding on to guilt or shame for past actions feeds the inner critic, keeping you tethered to regret. The Stoics encouraged letting go of what cannot be changed, focusing instead on what can be learned. By forgiving yourself, you free your mind from the burden of self-reproach, creating space for healing and forward movement. A crucial practice in silencing the inner critic is detachment from external validation. Many self-critical thoughts arise from comparing yourself to others or striving to meet societal expectations. The Stoics taught that true worth comes from living in alignment with your values, not from the opinions of others. By detaching from external measures of success, you reduce the power of self-doubt and build confidence rooted in authenticity. Engaging in mindful reflection helps counteract the patterns of self-criticism. The Stoics regularly examined their thoughts and actions, not to dwell on failures, but to understand and improve. This practice creates a space for constructive self-assessment, where you can identify areas for growth without descending into harsh judgment. Reflection, when paired with self-compassion, becomes a tool for empowerment rather than self-punishment. Focusing on small, consistent acts of kindness toward yourself reinforces self-compassion. The Stoics valued the practice of aligning actions with principles, and this includes how you treat yourself. Taking time to care for your well-being, whether through rest, nourishment, or simply acknowledging your efforts, counters the inner critic's narrative of inadequacy. These acts, though simple, build a sense of self-respect and resilience. Embracing the Stoic principle of living in the present reduces the influence of self-criticism. The inner critic often dwells on past mistakes or fears about the future, pulling you away from the now. By anchoring yourself in the present, you diminish the critic's grip, focusing instead on what you can do today to align with your values and goals. These practices form a powerful framework for transforming self-criticism into self-compassion. By integrating Stoic wisdom into your daily life, you create an inner dialogue that encourages, rather than diminishes, building confidence and reducing anxiety. Through this shift, you not only silence the inner critic, but also unlock a deeper sense of peace and purpose. As the inner critic grows quiet through self-compassion, a deeper truth emerges. Focusing solely on yourself often magnifies anxiety rather than alleviating it. The Stoics taught that a fulfilling and peaceful life cannot be lived in isolation. Turning your attention outward, toward the well-being of others, not only diminishes self-centered fears, but fosters a profound sense of purpose and calm. Service, in its many forms, becomes a pathway to overcoming anxiety by aligning your energy with something greater than yourself. Anxiety often thrives in the closed loop of self-focus. Worries about the future, regrets about the past, and insecurities about the present feed into each other, creating a relentless cycle. The Stoics understood that stepping outside of this mental trap requires redirecting attention. Marcus Aurelius frequently wrote about the interconnectedness of humanity, emphasizing that humans are designed to work together. By shifting focus to the needs of others, you interrupt the feedback loop of worry and engage with life in a way that brings clarity and relief. Helping others doesn't just distract from personal fears. It reframes them, showing that your challenges are not as insurmountable as they feel. Service offers an antidote to the rootlessness that often underpins anxiety. Without a clear sense of purpose, the mind searches for meaning in ways that can lead to overthinking and fear. The Stoics believed that a life of purpose is a life well lived, and contributing to the well-being of others is one of the clearest ways to create that purpose. Purpose rooted in service has a grounding effect. It provides direction, transforms abstract concerns into actionable tasks, and gives your actions a sense of weight and significance. Whether you volunteer time, support a friend, or work toward a cause, these acts tether you to the present and reduce the nebulous fears of the unknown. Helping others shifts your perspective from lack to abundance. Anxiety often centers on what you feel you are missing, whether it's security, confidence, or control. When you focus on serving others, your perspective broadens. Instead of dwelling on personal limitations, you recognize what you have to offer. The Stoics emphasized gratitude, and service naturally fosters this mindset. By sharing your time, skills, or resources, you cultivate an awareness of the strengths and blessings you possess. This not only alleviates anxiety, but builds confidence as you realize your ability to contribute meaningfully to the lives of others. Connection is another powerful outcome of service, one that directly counters the isolating effects of anxiety. When consumed by fears or insecurities, it's easy to feel alone or disconnected. The Stoics understood that humans are inherently social beings, and meaningful relationships are essential for emotional well-being. Acts of service, whether small gestures or significant commitments, strengthen these bonds. Supporting someone else reminds you that you are not alone, creating a sense of shared humanity. This connection provides comfort, stability, and perspective, reinforcing the idea that challenges are more manageable when faced together. Taking action to help others also creates a sense of agency. Anxiety often stems from feeling powerless in the face of challenges. The Stoics placed great importance on action over passive worry. When you focus on serving others, you shift from rumination to problem solving. This proactive mindset reinforces your ability to make a difference, not just for others, but also in your own life. Each act of service becomes a reminder of your capability, countering feelings of helplessness with a sense of empowerment. One of the most profound effects of serving others is the perspective it provides. The Stoics valued seeing life through a broad lens, recognizing that many personal worries shrink in significance when compared to the challenges others face. Helping someone in need, whether they are navigating illness, financial hardship, or emotional struggles, offers a stark reminder of the resilience of the human spirit. This perspective doesn't invalidate your own difficulties, but places them within a context that often makes them feel more manageable. The act of supporting others becomes a source of hope, showing that strength and compassion can overcome even the toughest circumstances. Service also challenges the ego, which often amplifies anxiety by magnifying personal fears and insecurities. The Stoics taught humility as a pathway to inner peace. By focusing on others' needs, you practice humility in action, breaking the cycle of self-centered worry. Humility is not self-deprecation, but a recognition of your place within the greater whole. Serving others reminds you that life is not about control or perfection, but about contributing to something larger. This shift reduces the pressure to be flawless, replacing it with a sense of purpose grounded in connection and shared humanity. The emotional benefits of service extend beyond the immediate moment. Helping others creates a feedback loop of positivity that nourishes both the giver and the receiver. The Stoics understood that acts of kindness and support are mutually reinforcing. Offering help generates positive emotions, which in turn diminish the grip of anxiety. This emotional uplift is not fleeting. It builds over time, creating a sense of fulfillment and well-being that sustains you through challenges. Service can take many forms, from grand gestures to small, everyday acts of kindness. Holding the door for someone, offering a listening ear, or even sharing a word of encouragement are all forms of service that carry profound impact. The Stoics taught that no act of kindness is too small, as each one contributes to the fabric of a virtuous life. These small actions accumulate, creating a habit of service that transforms not only how you interact with the world, but how you see yourself within it. Through consistent service, you cultivate habits that sustain peace and fulfillment over the long term. The Stoics believed that virtue is not achieved in a single moment, but through repeated, intentional actions. By making service a regular part of your life, you create a foundation of resilience and calm. Each time you support someone else, you reinforce your capacity for compassion, reduce the weight of your own worries, and strengthen your connection to the world around you. The power of service lies in its ability to transcend the self. By focusing on others, you dissolve the boundaries that anxiety often creates. Service aligns your actions with your highest values, fostering a sense of purpose, connection, and gratitude that transforms fear into calm and doubt into confidence. This outward focus not only eases the grip of anxiety, but also unlocks a deeper sense of fulfillment and meaning, showing that the path to inner peace is often found through helping others. Turning outward through service helps quiet self-centered fears and creates a deep connection to others. But the question remains: what happens when life itself changes in ways that no act of service can control? The Stoics taught that to truly free yourself from anxiety, you must confront one of life's fundamental truths. Everything is transient. This acceptance, far from being bleak, holds the key to liberation. In embracing impermanence, you discover a freedom that calms the mind and opens the heart to life's fullness. The root of much anxiety is the desire to hold on to what cannot be kept: relationships, possessions, status, or even health. The Stoics observed that clinging to permanence in an impermanent world creates suffering. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that all things are subject to change, and that resistance to this natural flow leads only to frustration. When you accept that nothing lasts forever, you shift from fearing loss to appreciating what is here now. Impermanence does not mean loss alone, it also signifies renewal. The Stoics saw change as a force of nature, neither inherently good nor bad. By embracing this perspective, you recognize that endings often lead to beginnings. Seneca wrote about the cycles of life, encouraging his readers to view each moment as part of a greater process. This understanding helps soften the sting of change, as you come to see it not as destruction, but as transformation. The impermanence of life also reminds you to value what you have while you have it. Anxiety often arises from taking the present for granted while worrying about the future. The Stoics encouraged gratitude as a way to counter this tendency. When you acknowledge that time with loved ones, experiences, and even your own existence are finite, you naturally begin to cherish them more deeply. This shift in focus transforms worry into appreciation, enriching each moment. Letting go of the illusion of control is a natural outcome of embracing impermanence. Much of life's unpredictability lies beyond your influence, and attempting to control the uncontrollable only heightens anxiety. Epictetus taught that freedom comes from focusing on what is within your power while releasing attachment to external outcomes. By internalizing this lesson, you free yourself from the mental burden of trying to manipulate what cannot be tamed. The concept of impermanence also dissolves the fear of failure. When you understand that no situation, good or bad, is permanent, the pressure to achieve perfection diminishes. The Stoics believed that effort, not outcome, defines a life well lived. This perspective allows you to take risks and pursue your goals without the paralyzing fear of what might happen if you fall short. Failures become temporary, and each setback is a stepping stone rather than a stopping point. The transient nature of life also invites reflection on the passage of time. The Stoics frequently contemplated their mortality, not as a morbid exercise, but as a way to focus their energy on what truly matters. When you accept that time is limited, you are less likely to waste it on trivial concerns or unnecessary worry. This awareness sharpens your priorities, helping you align your actions with your values and live more intentionally. Impermanence teaches you to detach from material possessions, recognizing that their value lies not in permanence, but in how they are used. The Stoics often reflected on the fleeting nature of wealth and status, understanding that their loss does not diminish your worth. By shifting focus from accumulation to meaningful use, you release the anxiety tied to keeping or losing material things. This detachment fosters contentment, as you come to see that true wealth lies in character and purpose. The fleeting nature of life also highlights the importance of adaptability. When you resist change, you create tension and frustration. The Stoics encouraged approaching life with flexibility, bending with the winds of change rather than breaking under their force. This adaptability reduces anxiety as you learn to navigate uncertainty with grace rather than fear. It teaches you to work with the flow of life rather than against it, creating resilience and inner peace. Embracing impermanence also cultivates humility. When you acknowledge that nothing lasts forever, including yourself, it becomes easier to let go of ego-driven fears. The Stoics viewed humility as a pathway to wisdom, helping you see your place within the greater whole. This perspective not only reduces self-centered anxiety, but also fosters a sense of awe and gratitude for the brief but profound gift of life. Impermanence invites you to focus on presence rather than projection. Anxiety often stems from projecting fears into the future or clinging to regrets from the past. The Stoics taught that the present is the only time you truly possess. By anchoring yourself in the now, you align with the natural flow of life, free from the weight of what was or what might be. This practice creates a deep sense of calm as you learn to engage fully with the moment at hand. Each of these lessons reveals that impermanence, rather than being a source of fear, is a gateway to freedom. By accepting the transient nature of life, you release the grip of worry and open yourself to a deeper appreciation of its beauty. The Stoics remind us that true peace is not found in trying to freeze time, but in flowing with its currents, embracing change as an integral part of existence. Through this understanding, you not only overcome anxiety, but also discover a richer, more vibrant way of living. As you come to terms with the impermanent nature of all things, a profound realization emerges. The present moment is all that truly exists. By embracing the now, you unlock the key to alleviating fears about the future and regrets about the past. Life unfolds not in distant horizons or fading memories, but in the immediate experience of here and now. Every breath, every sensation, every thought occurs in the present. Yet, the mind often wanders, entangled in what might happen or what has already transpired. This constant shifting away from the present creates a gap between living and merely existing. The Stoics recognized this and taught that anchoring oneself in the current moment is essential for a fulfilling life. By fully engaging with the present, you can dissolve anxieties about what cannot be controlled, the uncertainties of the future, and the unchangeable past. Living in the present begins with mindfulness, a conscious effort to focus attention on the here and now. The Stoics practiced this through continual awareness of their thoughts and actions. By observing your mind without judgment, you become aware of when it drifts. This awareness is the first step toward redirecting focus back to the present. It allows you to catch yourself when thoughts spiral into worry or regret, gently guiding them back to the immediate experience. Engaging fully with your senses is another way to root yourself in the present. The world offers a rich tapestry of sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and textures that often go unnoticed when the mind is elsewhere. By deliberately paying attention to these sensory experiences, you ground yourself in reality. This practice not only enhances appreciation for the world around you, but also quiets the mental chatter that fuels anxiety. The Stoics also emphasize the importance of purposeful action. When you involve yourself fully in what you are doing, whether it's a simple task like washing dishes or a complex project at work, you leave little room for distracting thoughts. This immersion in activity, often referred to as flow, creates a state where time seems to fade and you are completely engaged with the moment. Purposeful action aligns your intentions with your efforts, fostering a sense of accomplishment and presence. Acceptance plays a crucial role in living fully in the present. Resistance to what is happening now creates tension and stress. By accepting the current circumstances, even if they are not ideal, you free yourself from the struggle against reality. This doesn't mean complacency, but rather acknowledging things as they are before deciding how to respond. Acceptance allows you to conserve energy that would otherwise be spent on futile resistance, channeling it instead into meaningful action. Letting go of attachment to outcomes is another essential aspect. The future is uncertain, and fixating on specific results can lead to anxiety. The Stoics taught that while you can control your actions, you cannot control the outcomes. By focusing on the process rather than the destination, you relieve the pressure of expectations. This shift in focus enables you to perform tasks with greater enjoyment and less stress, as you are not burdened by concerns over how things will turn out. Practicing gratitude anchors you in the present by highlighting what you have now rather than what you lack or desire. When you regularly acknowledge and appreciate the positive aspects of your life, you cultivate a mindset of abundance. This perspective diminishes worries about the future and regrets about the past, as you recognize the value of the present moment. Gratitude fosters contentment and reduces the tendency to seek fulfillment elsewhere. Breathing exercises are practical tools for returning to the present. Focusing on the breath is a simple yet powerful way to center the mind. The breath is always with you, and paying attention to its rhythm brings you back to the body and the now. Deep, conscious breathing can also activate the body's relaxation response, reducing physical symptoms of anxiety. This practice can be done anywhere and serves as a quick reset when thoughts begin to drift. Mindful observation of thoughts without attachment helps prevent getting lost in them. The Stoics likened thoughts to passing clouds or leaves floating on a stream. By observing them without judgment or involvement, you allow them to pass without being swept away. This detachment doesn't suppress thoughts, but acknowledges them without giving them undue weight. Over time, this practice reduces the power of intrusive worries and rumination. Engaging in single tasking, focusing on one activity at a time, enhances presence. Multitasking splits attention and often leads to a scattered mind. By dedicating your full attention to one task, you improve performance and deepen your experience. This approach reduces stress and increases satisfaction, as you are fully engaged and less likely to make errors or overlook details. Setting aside dedicated time for reflection helps process emotions and experiences. The Stoics valued daily periods of contemplation to review actions and intentions. This practice allows you to acknowledge any lingering regrets or concerns, address them constructively, and then release them. Reflection brings closure to past events and clarifies future intentions, but it is done with the purpose of enriching the present rather than dwelling elsewhere. Cultivating patience is essential for remaining present. Impatience often arises from a desire to be somewhere else or achieve something in the future. By practicing patience, you accept the pace of life and reduce frustration. This acceptance diminishes the urge to rush through experiences, allowing you to savor each moment. Patience also enhances interactions with others as you become more willing to listen and engage fully. Developing a routine that incorporates mindfulness reinforces living in the present. Regular practices such as meditation, journaling, or mindful walking create habits that anchor you in the now. These activities become touchstones throughout the day, reminding you to return to the present when the mind begins to wander. Consistency in these practices strengthens the ability to stay grounded. Letting go of perfectionism reduces anxiety about outcomes and allows you to focus on the process. The pursuit of perfection often leads to constant dissatisfaction and stress. The Stoics taught that striving for excellence is noble, but recognizing and accepting limitations is equally important. By embracing imperfection, you free yourself from unrealistic standards that hinder engagement with the present. Embracing simplicity simplifies the mind and environment, making it easier to remain present. Clutter, both physical and mental, distracts and overwhelms. By decluttering your space and streamlining activities, you reduce external stimuli that pull attention away. Simplicity fosters clarity and calm, creating an environment conducive to mindfulness. Connecting with nature enhances presence by immersing you in the natural world. The Stoics often drew inspiration from nature, observing its cycles and finding peace in its constancy amid change. Spending time outdoors, even briefly, reconnects you with the fundamental rhythms of life. Nature's beauty and tranquility provide a backdrop for reflection and grounding. Practicing active listening in conversations anchors you in the present and enriches relationships. When you fully engage with what someone is saying, you foster deeper connections and understanding. This attentiveness not only benefits the other person, but also enhances your own experience as you become more attuned to nuances and emotions. Engaging in creative activities stimulates the mind and keeps it focused on the present. Whether it's painting, writing, playing music, or cooking, creative pursuits require concentration and immerse you in the moment. Creativity also provides an outlet for expression and can be a form of meditation, calming the mind and reducing anxiety. Setting realistic goals helps maintain presence by aligning expectations with reality. Unrealistic goals often lead to constant striving and dissatisfaction. By setting attainable objectives, you create a sense of achievement and reduce the stress associated with chasing the unattainable. This approach encourages you to appreciate progress and stay engaged with the process. Practicing self-compassion keeps you grounded in the present by reducing harsh judgments about the past or future. When you treat yourself with kindness, you alleviate the pressure of regrets and worries. Self-compassion fosters resilience and promotes a healthier relationship with yourself, making it easier to focus on the now. Engaging in physical self-care, such as exercise, proper nutrition, and adequate sleep, supports presence by maintaining overall well-being. Physical discomfort or fatigue can distract the mind and exacerbate anxiety. By taking care of your body, you create a stable foundation for mental and emotional health, enabling you to be more present. Cultivating optimism helps you stay present by focusing on possibilities rather than fears. The Stoics practiced a form of rational optimism, acknowledging challenges while maintaining hope. This mindset reduces anxiety about the future as you trust in your ability to handle whatever comes. Optimism encourages engagement with the present moment, as you are less likely to be paralyzed by fear. Engaging with a community provides support and keeps you connected to the present. Shared experiences and mutual support reinforce the value of the now. The Stoics believed in the importance of social bonds and contributing to the greater good. Participating in community activities grounds you in collective experiences, reducing feelings of isolation. Practicing non-judgment allows you to experience the present without the burden of constant evaluation. Judging experiences as good or bad creates emotional reactions that can pull you out of the moment. By observing without labeling, you remain open to the full spectrum of experiences. This openness fosters peace and reduces the mental turbulence caused by over-analysis. Embracing curiosity keeps you engaged with the present by encouraging exploration and learning. When you approach life with a curious mind, everyday experiences become opportunities for discovery. This attitude transforms routine activities into enriching experiences, keeping the mind active and focused on the now. Recognizing and challenging cognitive distortions helps maintain presence. Thoughts that catastrophize the future or dwell on past failures distort reality. By identifying these patterns, you can question their validity and redirect your focus. This practice reduces anxiety and keeps you anchored in what is real and immediate. Practicing humility keeps you grounded in the present by acknowledging that you don't have all the answers. The Stoics valued humility as a means to remain open-minded and receptive. Accepting that there is always more to learn prevents arrogance and keeps you engaged with the world around you. Incorporating humor into daily life lightens the mind and keeps you present. Laughter reduces stress hormones and shifts perspective. The Stoics appreciated the value of not taking oneself too seriously. Humor breaks tension and brings joy to the present moment, enhancing overall well-being. Committing to lifelong learning keeps the mind engaged and focused on the present. The pursuit of knowledge stimulates curiosity and growth. By continually seeking to understand more about the world and yourself, you remain actively engaged with life. Practicing forgiveness frees you from past grievances and future anxieties. Holding on to grudges or anticipating harm consumes mental energy. Forgiveness allows you to let go of these burdens, freeing you to live fully in the present. In essence, living fully in the present is a practice that permeates all aspects of life. It requires intentionality and awareness, but rewards with a richness of experience that cannot be found elsewhere. By anchoring yourself in the now, you alleviate fears about the future and regrets about the past. The Stoics offer a timeless guide to this way of living, showing that peace and fulfillment are not destinations, but experiences available in each moment. Life will always present challenges, uncertainties, and moments that test your resolve. But through the lens of Stoicism, you now have a timeless toolkit to navigate them. From understanding anxiety and reframing fear to mastering the present moment and embracing impermanence, the Stoic path is not about erasing anxiety, but transforming it into wisdom, strength, and clarity. Every practice, from daily reflection to cultivating gratitude and serving others, builds a fortress of calm within you, guiding you toward a life of purpose and resilience. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its simplicity and accessibility. It reminds you that peace is not found in controlling the world, but in controlling how you respond to it. With this philosophy, you are empowered to face life's uncertainties with courage and grace, knowing that true freedom is found in mastering your own mind. Now, it's your turn to take action. What is one Stoic practice or idea from this guide that resonates with you the most? Share it in the comments below. It could be the spark that inspires someone else on their journey. If this guide added value to your life, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell. Together, we can continue exploring the timeless wisdom of Stoicism and make each day a little more purposeful, peaceful, and fulfilling. Thank you for being part of this journey. Let's grow stronger, wiser, and calmer, one step at a time.